They pop crowd. They pop corn. They pop culture. It's the Lowdown with...
And we'll stop it right there because we have a new member of our Lowdown podcast team.
That's one way to do it.
That's so dumb. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lowdown Popcast. I am the voice of PCW, Elliot Popston, and alongside of me is the founder of the hottest wrestling promotion in the Mid-Atlantic. He is the owner and agent of Flyer Float Travel, where you can book your amazing vacation getaway at flyerfloattravel.com. He can sell ice to an Eskimo. He is New York's greatest export and the host of the Shane event, Shane Dorr.
Bro, I finally get all my accolades. Finally listed. I got chills. Look,
Hey,
every hair standing up.
You're welcome.
Well, what about this guy? What about this third guy?
And
I saw him slip you the note beforehand.
He texted me, Facebook message, all that good stuff. Alongside of us, once again, at the Cool Kids table is the... What?
Cool Kids table?
Hey, yeah, that's what I dubbed it. Don't hate me.
Okay.
He is a 6-time fantasy football champion. He is known as The Handbook. I was supposed to go back and listen to the first episode he was on. I completely forgot. He is Kevin Nash's favorite, soon to be favorite podcaster who tours quads. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jonathan Winburn.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, glad to be here.
Bro, but you know who else we got today?
Oh, man.
I've been waiting for this.
So this guy is what we have dubbed, Shane Dorr has dubbed as the breath of fresh air to country music.
I gave him that.
He sings my favorite verse of Thunder Rolls.
Ooh, we'll talk about that too.
Oh, we will talk about that. He has a latest hit. Well, let's back up. He is famous for Hey Baby on TikTok with his wife Destiny. He just came out with a new release called Wheels on the Truck, which is one of my kids' favorites.
Dude, my whole house.
The song's amazing.
It's phenomenal.
Ladies and gentlemen, just like his country music career is going to keep rolling round and round, singer, songwriter, country music extraordinaire, Brandon Davis.
Appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Hey, man.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Everything's been busy. We've been keeping kids busy between sports and school, and they've been having a blast getting into football and cheer and all that this fall. So it's been a blast, man. Just living the life.
You got 4, right? So you almost got a whole basketball team in that house.
Yeah. I cut it short before the roster got too big to handle.
So speaking of football,
We were talking basketball, but okay.
well, no. He said football a while ago. He says kids are playing football. Come on, pay attention.
I made him laugh. That's all that matters.
I think I'm going ahead and nominating Brandon Davis to redo the Monday Night Football, like Hank Williams used to do.
Oh man, we can't talk about. Dude, don't even get me started on that, man. Old Hank, I miss that. I miss it.
Brandon, do you want to drink? Do you want to party?
Let's get him rolling here in this opening segment. Elliot, tell him how long it's going to go.
Yeah, so Brandon, we're gonna have a quick rapid fire where Shane, host of the Shane event, is gonna ask you 10 questions. Plain and simple, he's gonna not necessarily, he's gonna say 10 words, and rapid fire. Times you hear the word, you just you can say it in one word. You can elaborate on it. You can give a sentence, however you want to do it. And yeah, it's just a quick way to kind of break the ice, get to know you, and yeah, just keep it moving.
Let's do it.
So Brandon, these are going to be 10 words, terms that you know really well. They're just, so when I find out who we're interviewing, I just come up with the first 10 words that I think of when I think of the said person. So these all have to do with you directly. And so you just elaborate on each one.
Let's do it.
All right. Number 1, of course, Destiny.
Definitely the reason that my life has taken the great right direction turn that it needed to.
Awesome. And you turned that into one of your most beloved songs for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the hardest thing that came with that song was keeping it a secret from my wife. So for I can't tell you how long. Every time she'd ask me about the song and like while we were recording something that she hadn't even heard, she would ask like, just tell me the title. Can I at least know what it's called? I said, I can't do that. It'll ruin it. I said, for now, just call it Recipe.
Nice.
She said, why is it called Recipe? It's like, because it's still cooking.
Hey.
Oh,
Look.
where's did it?
Write that one down.
We need that sound effect.
So was the first time that she heard it in the video that y'all released on TikTok in the car? Was that really the first time she heard
we
it?
were actually in the middle of Texas heading to a show, and I whipped over at a random Target parking lot because the master came through on a text message from my buddy, and he's like, hey, look, I got something special for y'all. And I whipped the truck off the road and into the Target parking lot. She's like, what in the world are you doing? We got to get to the show. I said, the show's going to have to wait. If I got a sound check a little late, you have to hear this. I'm going to put the camera up here because I want to remember this moment for the rest of our lives. And played the song, and it's one of those that I probably wouldn't have even needed the video to just remember how special it was, because that song has our story in it. It has how all this really came to be and the hardships that came along the way with it, along with all the happy moments too. And it was a moment that really just drew me into saying, look, I know that music is a journey and it's been special for us so far, but here's how special it really is.
And before I get into the second word, I do have to tell all the listeners, and if you want to see some of the most powerful, real, authentic videos, Brandon Davis's TikTok, you're into it. You've seen it. Is absolutely phenomenal.
My wife showed me first.
And I won't lie. TikTok's where I first saw Brandon Davis. So we'll talk about that more too. Second word is Tennessee.
It's where I was born. It's where I once tried to move away from and immediately came back to. And it's going to be where I'll probably be for the rest of my life, despite traveling in and out to show people that we care just as much about the rest of the world as we do our little plot. So
are you a volunteer fan?
I'm a volunteer fan.
Oh, Rock the Tide.
My
Rock the
wife
Tide.
likes to give me crap about it because she's a big Roll Tide campaigner.
Well.
And hey.
This is Gamecock country, okay?
That is incorrect.
We're finally on the upside of one of those better luck next years right now, so I'm going to hold true to that. The boys are actually they're showing some grit out there this year, and I'm kind of proud of them.
Hey, Tennessee has my favorite quarterback of all time, so that would be Peyton Manning.
You're here.
So good.
Okay. Third one is, hey, baby.
Well, you're lucky I didn't just jump up on top of the countertop here, because that's about what it comes down to. Like, I have to be on my toes with those two words, man. Like, we were in the middle of Pigeon Forge one time, and I heard those two words come popping out of her mouth, and the only thing I had to get up on top of was my father-in-law's car in the parking lot. And the looks you get when you're standing on the trunk of a car next to the strip there in Pigeon Forge, it's kind of never ending. Everyone driving by, I'm lucky we didn't cause a traffic jam.
In the middle of Santa's Village, right there downtown.
Exactly. And to boot, like, it's the kids have come so accustomed to hearing those two words in a specific scenario that we were actually in South Carolina staying at the hotel, and my daughter and all of us were getting ready, and I hear coming from the other end of the hotel room, hey, baby. And it was just her trying to get me to come in there to help her with something or look at something. And my daughter comes walking out from the room and looks at me and says, don't worry, Dad, she's not asking you to sing. I appreciate the heads up.
TikTok.
It's where it all began, man. It's a craze that I honestly just about didn't hop on if it weren't for my wife pushing me to do it. And because to me, I was never the big social media guy. I had my Facebook groups that I'd get on and check in with, and I'd look at it just to occasionally catch up with folks. But the few things I'd seen on TikTok just didn't seem like things I could do. I can't dance. I can't, I'm not a super funny guy. I got dad jokes. Not everybody likes to hear those.
Oh, man.
We can all relate. So,
Yeah, I mean, I was just in that boat where it didn't seem like an avenue I needed to chase. And she said, no, look, we need to do it. So very thankful we did. If not, there ain't no telling who I'd be talking to right now instead of y'all.
Can I just say thank God for our wives? I mean, literally all of us.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
our wives are definitely the rock and definitely the foundation. So
Well, there's only one, The Rock, and that is Dwayne Johnson, my friend.
And I'll say, I mean, not about that.
Yes.
okay, you win. I wasn't going to give you that much credit. I was just going to ignore it and keep going. But
I was gonna say not to discredit your wife any for TikTok, but I think with the amount of talent you have, that it would have happened without her pushing the TikTok thing or not. But that's just me.
yeah, your talent definitely is inevitable to your success. But you're yeah, I think the TikTok kind of just helped push it quick, definitely to the top really quick. Tim McGraw.
The experience of a lifetime. That's what that boils down to. And not just that, but just getting to know a wide variety of people that became like family for over a 6-week period of time. And they treated you like family, and everyone was just down to earth and constantly giving advice and, helping us learn new things along the way in the journey that we're still, to this day, we're still very fresh into this, and getting to hear all these guys that have been in it for 20 or 30 years. And when they say you do a good job, like that's the ultimate compliment in my mind. Cause that's somebody who's, whether it's a stagehand, the production crew, the management in the back, or McGraw himself, any one of those line of people telling you that, you're doing a good job, or you're stepping in the right direction, or giving you that one little bit of advice that might help nudge you to the next point. Like that's truly special in my mind, to just know that they've seen so much and they're able to see hopefully something more in me.
Now this next one's it's probably gonna be a little tougher, but I think it's a part of your story, and I don't know if my co-hosts even know the specifics about it, but you'll know the date, February 19th.
It's the day that changed it all. In fact, if you look right here on my arm, you'll see one of the randomest pieces that people like to draw their eyes to is this traffic signal. And there's a sign next to it that says left turn yield. And it was a left turn that ended up changing my life before I even knew what was going to happen. Like when I was sitting at this red light, I got the green signal to go, and next thing I know, I'm getting blasted across 3 lanes of the highway in my vehicle from getting hit head on. I'm rushed to the hospital. They're doing a scope to check all my insides and make sure I'm okay. It took forever to even let my wife know that I was there. And she finally got to the hospital. They had to do emergency surgery, and I woke up just to a whole new world that I didn't even realize what surgery had taken place, what was wrong with me. And when they explained it all, I just had this moment of, why me? So I feel like we all have those moments where you're trying to figure out why something happens to you. And she looked at me and said, look, you can't see it right now. I know it's tough, but one day you're going to realize exactly why this happened. Maybe tomorrow, it may be 10 years from now, but you're going to realize. And it was just that breath of fresh air and that clarity moment that said, look, you've done all this in life, but there's so much that you haven't done. I chased baseball for a little while and quit. I played music my entire life and never did anything with it. And music was still something that I did every single day. I recorded songs in my truck. I sang at a little opera house locally in Birchwood. And I just said, look, I really want to chase music because I spend every day telling my kids, chase your dreams, reach for your goals, never let anyone tell you no. Yet I was the hypocrite that wasn't doing any of those things. I had found my little job to settle into and thought that, the life I've got, that's good enough. And we decided to start chasing music. And she pushed me every step of the way, saying, look, let's get local gigs, let's get on social media. And it spiraled from there because we had everything that could try to stop us come in and try to stop us. We had the pandemic hit, which took any local show that I had and flushed it down the toilet because nobody was doing live shows anymore. And we had no idea really how to tackle Facebook and YouTube. We weren't, very versed in it yet. But when everyone started staring at their phones because we were all confined to our house, she found TikTok and for months tried pushing me to get on it, until finally she just started recording me at random and posting it without my knowledge to see if anything would hit. And finally something started to hit. She said, well, I want you to look at what I've been doing. And she showed me the video, and it's kind of history from there. It just started taking off, and we've hit the ground running and haven't stopped. She said, if this is what you want, we need to chase it now.
Man.
And we did.
Amazing. So just random. What was that first TikTok video that just went? Pew?
Well, the first one was me in front of a fridge here in the house. And what caught me off guard is that the video that goes viral is one of me in my adult league baseball cap, like a cutoff T-shirt of Captain America in basketball shorts, and I'm barefoot walking through the house trying to get a bottle of water at like 10 o'clock at night. And of all things to go viral, it's just one where I just did exactly what I was asked to do. She said, sing. I sang. She said, do Brad Paisley. And I was, at the time, like I said, I'd been playing at a little house for forever. And in people's minds, when it came to those shows, they heard, hey, we're going to play a George Jones song. Well, they want to hear George Jones do it. So you tried to do George Jones. So she said Brad Paisley. I tried to do Brad Paisley, and then Chris Stapleton, and so on and so forth. And it hit. Whatever we found was gold for that video, and it took off through the stratosphere, which for me, having a viral moment with music was incredible. It was one of those, you don't expect it to happen, especially not that quick, and now it's happening, and you're sitting there saying, oh, what do I do now?
You're definitely operating in your calling, Brandon. That's for sure.
Appreciate that.
I picked this one because this got a little story to it. So I got a text the other day. It was a couple weeks ago now, and talking about the Thunder Rolls cover. So yeah. So he's like, bro, did you ever hear the long version of the Thunder Rolls cover? And I said, well, no, I don't think so. He's like, Brandon Davis is doing the mysterious third verse. I'm like, no. So the next pick is kind of both bands at once. So State of Mind and No Resolve. So
the crazy part about this is 2 weeks prior to anything that had to do with that on my part, I was sitting at work, and I always played YouTube in the background to have music playing. And part of one of the recommended videos was the Thunder Rolls that came out, and it was the original cut that State of Mind and No Resolve did.
Banger.
I listened to it, and I was like, holy cow.
Yep.
These guys have absolutely taken this song to the next level when it comes to like going from country to rock. Like, they did it right. Like, in my mind, there's no way you could ever reach the level of Garth, but if anybody was going to come close, they had come as close as I'd seen, because they just killed it. And I had actually came home and showed it to her, and it wasn't 2 weeks after watching that video, we get an email saying, hey, we looked you up, and we've had a lot of people requesting us to do the long version of the song just released, Thunder Rolls, the hard rock version. And we were trying to get somebody to come in and feature on the mysterious third verse. And I was flattered and kind of blown away. Like, I couldn't really wrap my head around how this was happening. And then I hopped on the call, and I said, I just want y'all to realize, like, you know I'm country, right? They're like, yeah. I was like, and you're like, y'all are rocking it hard. They're like, yeah, we want to bring country back into it. I was like, I was just making sure that there wasn't a mix-up. There was another guy in Vegas out there that was doing something y'all were looking for that I wasn't going to do. But those guys they're such a good group of folks, between Jay and all of them. They pulled together a really tight-knit team and welcomed me in, let me be a part of this. And the little fun fact, we actually recorded the mysterious third verse in my master bedroom closet. Oh, so if you want to get down to how all that took place.
See, we get an exclusive here. I love it.
Good.
The BD Brigade.
The hardest thing I have ever tried to think of to name what we would actually give a label to our fans. because I can't tell you the number of phrases and names and different little groups of words that we had pulled together trying to figure out what that name was going to be. But I feel like the BD Brigade really pulled it together, and everyone's kind of took it and ran with it, and I'm thankful for it, man. Because if it weren't for the people that consider themselves part of that, this music doesn't have a life.
Is there any of those names that you remember and you think, man, you're like, man, I'm glad I didn't name it that?
Oh, that's a good one.
Shoot. We were well, one of the stupid ones I threw out to my wife just as a gag was the Brandon Davis bunch. That obviously wasn't going to go over very well.
They are the Brandon Davis bunch.
You look at our house and think so. But I honestly can't even, some of them were so off the wall. A lot of it had to do with just finding a way to include a group in the name, and neither Brandon nor Davis had a good follow-up aside from Brigade. So we took the name completely out of it, just put the BD there, figured it was a little bit short, sweet, to the point.
Big deltas.
Run with it, brother. I love it. Again, another term we can all relate to, but I think a big part of your story and your success is those kids, those 4 children. So we all have multiple children in ourselves. So fatherhood.
To me, it was one of the experiences that I sat there and dreamed about it all my life. I dreamed about having kids and being able to watch them grow up, and the things you get to teach them between teaching the boys sports and having a daddy's little girl and teaching the kids to drive. But when my oldest 2 came into my life, I didn't even have to go through the period of like, okay, well, hey, you're about to have a kid, now wait 9 months and prepare. It was just, hey, here's 2 kids and let's get started with this. And it was amazing to me getting to have that part of my life come so quickly. And it really, really just took my heart by surprise, because not only did I had God literally placed the best part of anything I could have imagined being brought in front of me and said, look, here's the love of your life. And along with the love of your life is 2 parts of your heart that, despite what you didn't know, you were actually missing this. And now I've got it. I've got those 2 parts. And I realized that the rest of my life can't be spent without them. And then he said, now I'm going to send you 2 more. And these 2, one's going to drive you up a wall. The other's going to be exactly like you. And by the time you're done, you're going to realize that, there's not going to be a single moment in the rest of your life that isn't filled with a little chaos, fun, love, and a ton of adventure, because that's what those kids bring every day. Every day is a brand new page to a chapter book that I'm going to be writing for a long time. I'm thankful.
So my son was asking this in the car earlier. He said, Dad, how many, he asked how many children. I said 4. He said, does he have daughters, sons, or both? And then he said, how old are they? So, so you have how many daughters, how many sons?
I've got 1 girl and 3 boys. My daughter's 7. My oldest boy is 6, and then it goes 4 and 3.
Whew.
And if you ask any of them, they will not tell you that they're that age, because my daughter swears she's already 17 by how she's walking around this house. She's queen bee, and she's mama number 2. My oldest son, he is the maturest of any 6-year-old I've ever gotten the pleasure of talking to. Then I've got a 4-year-old that's just wild, reckless, and ready to go, never afraid of anything, never will back down from a challenge. And then I've got my Spider-Man obsessed 3-year-old that thinks everything in life is a superhero fight.
I'll be sure to share that with him.
Yeah, he'd love to hear that.
7, 6, 4, and 3, son.
Last one is your recent hit, Wheels on the Truck.
Man, that was such a fun song to write. I sat in a room with Red Atkins, Will Bundy, and don't space out on his name. Blake Pendergrass. There we go. See,
There's destiny, ladies and gentlemen.
But no, Blake actually came in the room that day with a quick chorus of what he had around the idea of Wheels on the Truck. And immediately all of us just kind of turned our heads and said, all right, whatever that was, play it again, and let's figure out how we can turn that into a whole song. And by the time we were done, like, it had 90s country taste. It had that fun, upbeat sound that I knew as soon as my boys heard it, they were going to be head over heels for it, because Easton at the time was obsessed with trucks. Granger learns my songs like that and can sing every one of them. Same with Brantley. And Malia, the first thing she did was listen to the demo we had and set her phone up and tried to come up with her own little dance, because she loves all the TikTok dances. That's one of her favorite things. And she was trying to come up with her own little dance to it. So it was just it was a song that as soon as I got done writing it, as soon as I heard the demo, I knew it was one that we had to share with everybody else, because it meant too much to me already, not for everyone else to hear.
When I heard the tune of the song and what it just sounded like, that little teaser you released, I said, oh boy, this is going to be good. I got that feeling, and the way you were promoting it. So I can tell a lot behind success, behind promotion, right? So the way somebody promotes a certain song or event, I could just tell if it's going to be successful. So when you released it, it was either noon or midnight. I can't remember what time.
It was midnight.
It was midnight.
Yeah, I was stayed up for it.
Yeah. So I saw that release. And I immediately sent it to Jonathan over here, and I'm like, listen to this. And he's like, he listened to it. He goes, I still don't know what it means, but he goes, man, that's a bop.
I haven't heard that term yet.
I said, what the heck does that even mean?
I laugh because I was just talking to my sister on the way over here about today's lingo, and I said bop, and she was like, I don't know what that means. And I was like, but my youngest sister is in college right now, and she was like, it means banger.
A banger.
There we go. That's the term I'm used to.
Yeah, well, in the wrestling business, we use the term banger a lot. You know, that's just the word. But yeah, that song has quickly become one of my favorite songs. It's my second favorite song of yours. Destiny is my favorite one, just because that's the first one I heard from you. Speaking of which, so let's go back. Jonathan was there, so it's no secret, Brandon. I don't expect you to remember, but you know, we work for a rather large cell phone company, and you were in South Carolina for an event at the rodeo, and we were walking around the top, and Brandon was down in what do you call that? The arena. And Brandon's like, hey, T-Mobile guys, how do I sound up there? I said, and I'll never forget. I was like, I don't know. We could tell a lot better if you sing Destiny. And Brandon's like, what? I'm like, sing Destiny. And then all of a sudden he just belted it out, acoustic. But it was that was my first experience seeing you live, man. And I had known who you were going in there, and just seeing you firsthand, man. You're absolutely phenomenal, bro. I call you the breath of fresh air in country music, because I truly believe that's what you are. You bring this ode of 90s country, which I think
best era of country, in my opinion.
Yeah, we all grew up in the 90s. Well, he's actually you're both 80s people. I'm sorry, but I grew up in 90s country. I think it's the greatest.
I was born in 86. I grew up on 90s country, Shane.
Whatever. But I think 90s country, you have your Garth, and you have your George, and your
Brooks
Toby and Brooks and Dunn and Trace Adkins
George
and
Strait,
Tracy,
the king.
God dang it, Elliot. But I think it's the greatest era of country music, and you just bring this ode to 90s music, 90s country back. Just your sound and what you sing about, and how you deliver your lyrics. I just think it's absolutely phenomenal.
Man, that's huge compliment. Can't tell you how much, like, that really does. For me, it hits hard just because going into this, the one thing I wanted to make sure, no matter what we did, no matter who we wrote with, what songs we released, if we did anything, we did it because it's who we were. It's who I am. It's what I grew up on, the music that I wanted to be able to tell stories through. And hearing something like that just helps drive home the point that we're at least showing people that that's what we're about.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Shane would agree that really separates you from a lot of the artists out there now. You hear so many artists who, will just play and sing something that might have been written for them, or even they may have just written because it sounded good. But I think one thing that we all recognize and feel in your music is that there's that heart behind it, and that really separates you from the rest, in my opinion.
You're not singing just to sing. You're singing with a purpose.
Yeah,
A story to tell.
My dad used to tell me, like, the first time I ever decided to write a song was after my dad showed me Chiseled in Stone by Vern Gosdin. And I loved it. And he said, I want you to listen to this song, but don't just listen to how it sounds. Just listen to how he's singing it. He said, listen to the story. He said, because he's telling a story from start to finish. And I listened to it and was just floored. It really kind of hit my heart heavy and pulled at the strings. And he said, this is what songwriting is. And I told him how, based on that, I really want to write. And he said, well, I want you to remember that when you're writing a song, he said, write a good story. He said, because if you're able to tell a story, share that with the world, and connect with even one person, then you've done your job.
Well, I'll say, I know Shane mentioned, Destiny was his favorite, but just looking back or listening back, all of my favorites all seem like they really is your story. So, Forever and Always, love that one. We talked about, your kids and, the two that came into your life, immediately. So, Step by Step, that hits me, just cause I was lucky enough, very early on as a kid to have my stepmom come into play. And, she treated me from day one just like one of her own. So that, and then my son, my wife, so she's been around my son since he was 2 or 3. And, there's not a day that goes by that, he's not hers and part of her. So, that one really hit strong for me, for sure.
Yeah. Kind of same thing for our family. My wife's never met her biological father, but since she was 5, her dad, Poppy, to us, has raised her. And, our kids, they're not his biological grandkids. They're his grandkids. So I've always told people it takes a very, very special person to be able to make room for a child in their life that may not biologically be theirs. And to me, for me, I can't hold a candle in my mind to the type of father that my father-in-law is, because of the type of father he's been to my wife as a stepfather, but as a father. So,
and my stepfather was my father. He raised me. So he was in my life when I 4 years old, and he just passed away this past year, during COVID. So it just goes to show you how relatable you are. And I think that's what separates you from anybody that I listen to. You're personable, you're relatable, you're humble. You're one of the most humble human beings I have ever had the pleasure of talking to.
You took time out of your schedule to come on the show with these 3 normal dudes. So
yeah, at the cool kids table, right?
You get it set at the cool kids table, man.
Well, at least 2 of us are normal.
That makes
one of those is a Dallas Cowboys fan.
I am a Cowboys fan. Don't hold that against me. But all these things encompass who you are. You're very successful. You have a beautiful marriage. You have a beautiful family. You have a beautiful new home. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And it's just, you're only just scratched the surface of what you are ultimately going to become. And I am just thrilled and ecstatic, blessed, humbled myself to even just be able to have this conversation with you in your home, like what you're in your home. So just I'm absolutely thrilled, and I just can't wait to see ultimately what comes of your career, because it's you think you've been successful this early, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Hit it, fellas. Honey, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Your priorities are right where they need to be, and I just think as long as you continue down this path, you're gonna you're only gonna achieve what some people wish they could.
Hey, so who's some of your inspirations?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, one of my biggest inspirations early on was always Merle Haggard, just because that was one of the first artists that I really got into when I was younger. My dad had a 16 Biggest Hits Merle Haggard CD that I stole from him, and I knew that thing front to back and could sing every song, every lyric, and know every guitar lick. And I was singing it all the way down. I remember on a trip from Tennessee down to Panama City Beach, and we were going down there to play a World Series for our 10-year-old select team. And my mama begged and begged and begged for me to let her turn that thing off. And I was like, okay, you can turn it off. Well, she turned it off, and as soon as she turned it off, I just kept singing it. And then my dad just started dying laughing. But Merle being such an avid songwriter and really the common man's poet that gave everyone that sense of, hey, it's not only that I'm singing songs about it, it's because the majority of this I've lived it. And that always struck a chord with me because I love that aspect of him. And the other inspiration would be my dad, just because I've watched him go through country music and gospel music and chase this dream both locally and, all the way up to Nashville and back. And even though it wasn't a dream that ever came true in its fullest, maybe to the level that he wanted it to, he was so gifted and so talented, and still to this day can sing circles around me. But he's an amazing musician and has always given me such good advice, helped me to push my songwriting to the next level, and always been one of my biggest supporters. So,
man, that's amazing. Papa Davis.
Oh yeah.
What do your kids call their grandparents?
My kids call them Mops and Pops.
Mops and Pops.
They have an uncle named Bops. I'm just asking because we had a Bop earlier. I mean,
No, they call my brother. They just call him Uncle Bailey. He didn't get no crazy nickname.
So, what's the future hold for Brandon Davis?
Right now, what the future holds is just trying to share more songs that people can connect with, because I think that's the biggest goal each day with this music, is to write something that not only we're feeling, but something that hopefully somewhere somebody else in the world is feeling, because a song can do so much for somebody. And not only in times that are tough, but times that are fun, times that are happy, times that are sad, and all of that in between. Because if you have a song that says, look, hey, this is what I'm going through right now, and what I just heard coming through that radio really speaks to me. And that's what I want this music to do, is just find somebody, whether it's a happy drinking song, a sad song talking about the one you love, or a song that you want to play at your wedding. I just want it to connect with you. And if I've done that, just like my dad said, I've done my job.
so outside of playing and performing and touring and all that, what's something that Brandon Davis likes to do?
Well, used to, I would tell you that I love to play baseball, because I do. I love to play baseball, but right now, probably one of my biggest excitements is getting to go see my boy play football. And that's because this is his first year, and he's not quite sure about it. He's good at it, especially when he's really out there and he's getting into it. But just watching him learn all these new things and kind of coming into that first camaraderie with all these kids around him, and his team's bonding, they're starting to build a lot of friendships. And it just reminds me of being his age and getting into baseball, which he's loves baseball, I think, more than he does football. But just watching him have all those moments that I can remember having when I was 6 years old, it's just amazing.
So in Tennessee, at the age of 6, is he playing tackle or is he playing flag?
Oh, he's playing tackle, and I'm telling you what, he made some good ones tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not the biggest kid out there, but he's one that he's my rule follower. And by that, he's just really good at following directions. And if you tell him exactly what he needs to do, well, he's going to go out there and do it. So I told him today, I was like, I want you to just be aggressive and be ready to listen to your coach. And if they want somebody out there, be the first to volunteer.
He's going to be that kid who knows his technique.
Oh yeah, he does. He locks into it.
I'm just picturing Braden on a bleacher. That's my boy. You know, as the like just knocked out the quarterback.
You better believe it.
That could be the inspiration for your next song. That's my boy.
Yep. He's crazy, man.
Hit him in the mouth.
Show him the BD Brigade.
Joe Montana's the quarterback.
Joe Montana was quarterback. Best linebacker ever.
Oh, Lord.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, just speaking of sports, so we talked about you being a Vols fan. So obviously, in a lot of your TikTok videos, you're wearing your Braves shirt. So what do you think about the Braves right now?
They're my number 2 team.
Number 2
behind the Yankees.
I'm a Dodgers fan.
I did see a picture with the Dodgers. I thought that was just a sponsor for the Little League team.
I held the prayer out. I was
I
praying.
got brought home from the hospital in the Dodgers t-shirt, man. It was born into me. The Braves are right down the road, so they're always my second in command when it comes to being a fan of baseball. And I've always rooted for them. If I'm not rooting for the Dodgers, unless they're playing each other, then all bets are off. But the Braves are, what I love about them in the past few years, they've had a really young team, but they've had a really strong group of young guys that have come in and been hungry for what they're going after, and they've shown improvement to the point that they were going after it all. And to see that out of the Braves as compared to what you might have seen in a few previous years prior to, say go back 6 or 7 years from now, seeing how much drive they've got is incredible.
What's that manager's name? Snicker? What's his name? Snitker.
Snickers.
Yeah, well, I was close, right?
Snitsky.
I have friends of mine who are big Braves fans. I remember them wanting him fired so bad. Get fired, get rid of Snitker, fire Snitker and stuff. And, last year I'm like, oh, we still trying to fire him?
I mean, but the Dodgers are doing all right, for themselves. They're not.
I mean, when you own all of MLB, you ought to do all right.
It's gonna be Yankees Dodgers. It's gonna be Yankees Dodgers.
Yankees ain't gonna make it.
Yes, they are.
I'll get you.
Yes, they are. Shut up. So outside of music, Brandon, what are some of your pastimes? Obviously, you love going
Baseball.
to see your son play sports.
Yep.
Do you hunt? Do you fish? What do you do?
Like a good backstrap.
I played baseball 24/7, 7 days a week, ate, slept, and breathed it for years and years and years. And believe it or not, aside from that, I was always a huge comic book fan, and I used to be real into like doing sketches and drawing, and used to draw comic book characters and portraits and stuff all the time, and love getting to share that now with my 3-year-old, because I was a comic book nut, and I've got one that's just absolutely Spider-Man obsessed. And anything to do with a superhero right now, I'm sitting there like, you just gave me an excuse to tell your mommy that we're watching the new Spider-Man and the new Batman movie for the next 2 movie nights. So, and it's perfect for me, because it's something that I don't get to be a part of as much as I used to. But now that he's into it, it's game on.
So now it all makes sense. So now the video with you shopping for a Halloween costume, and it was a Spider-Man costume, makes sense.
Yeah. The whole point of going there was to not do anything but just look and, maybe scare each other a little bit with the different props and stuff they had in there. And the first thing he does is he makes a beeline for the superhero section. But I noticed he wasn't going to the children's superhero section. He went to the adults. And he went straight to the Spider-Man costume and said, "Look, Daddy, it's one that you can have like mine." I was like, "We'll see what your mommy thinks about that."
Well, it's funny because the video he pulls it, he puts it in his hand, and then Destiny comes running up. What are you doing? Nothing.
Brings home a red wig. Hey, you can be MJ to my Spider-Man.
So I will say, Brandon, you cannot ever, under any circumstances, stop no matter how big you get, how big you're going to get, because it's going to happen. It's inevitable, but you cannot stop these TikTok videos because they're absolute gold.
So I have a question about comics and cartoons. Does the term Winnie the Pooh, Scooby-Doo, And what's the other one?
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch mean anything to you?
Yeah, a little bit. It's one of the first. We had a little viral TikTok video, semi-viral, involving some of those characters.
Yeah, I read that you do a pretty mean Winnie the Pooh, Lilo and Stitch, and a Scooby-Doo impression.
What?
Yeah.
Oh. What? No way.
She loves Winnie the Pooh the most because I don't know why. I think it's because whenever I laugh, sometimes I laugh like Winnie the Pooh. So I don't mean to.
All right, I got to hear it now.
So let's see. Might have to break out a body armor here in a minute. Let's see. So, oh, Mr. Rabbit, I'm just looking for a little bit of honey.
Absolute gold.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Brandon Davis is starring in the next voiceover movie.
I said, nailed it.
Nailed it. That's right.
He's gonna be getting the calls for voiceover.
Yeah, we were doing Winnie the Pooh, and then you had Red, Winnie too.
Yes.
Like Scoob, I don't think they want to hear all that, man.
Oh man. I love this. I love this stuff because I absolutely love impersonations, impressions, and stuff.
My eyes are watering.
I attempt to do some sometimes for my kids, but yeah, mine don't hold a candle to that.
That Shaggy was on point.
That Shaggy was on point.
Wait, where's Stitch?
Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
My
Impeccable.
So I have a favorite line from Lilo and Stitch, and it's the punch buggy line. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The red punch buggy, not punch back.
That's it. Oh man, that was unbelievable. You're a man of many talents.
You are.
Well, when you got 4 kids, you got to find a way to keep them entertained. And there for a while, it was picking up books of these different characters and reading it like you're the character.
Usually mine involves me wearing a princess dress and a tiara.
The good thing was I never fit in princess dresses.
Well, I'm not saying I fit in it, but you know.
No, we had all kinds of books laying around that my mom had sent us, and we had picked up over the course of the past few years. And like one of them that they constantly made me read was they had a SpongeBob book. So I'd pick up the SpongeBob book, and they're like, "Can you read this to us?" I was like, "Yeah." And I start reading it. No, we want SpongeBob to read it to us. I was like, "Oh God."
You know what that meant.
So you pick it up, and you're like, "All right, Patrick. What are we going to do tonight?"
I don't know. I think I just want to go eat a Krabby Patty.
Oh my gosh, this is gold.
I'm hurting. Ooh. Okay.
Hey, give me 1 second. I'm going to grab a drink over here.
So obviously, this was public knowledge that he did these, and I never saw these.
Yeah, I did my research, Shane. He said he was going to grab him a drink.
Oh man,
Get his body armor. Got to get that fruit cocktail.
Yeah.
So all right. So what's so since
This podcast is brought to you by Body Armor.
since that was public knowledge on TikTok. So what's an impression you do that really nobody's heard on that sort of platform?
I bet he could do Mickey Mouse.
Okay, so, well, I mean, a lot of them, I guess people have heard because we did Peter Griffin on there, and and then you had Stewie. You put Stewie on there and talk to Brian. And then you got Eeyore, and he's always so sad.
You do Ticker?
I say, I told her, I smell Ticker.
Oh man,
I'm getting lightheaded.
So one that I've always had difficulty with is Donald. I've always tried Donald Duck, and I cannot.
I've tried Donald Duck, and it just sounds like I've gone crazy. And it's a mess. The most I can get is like the.
Yep, that's it.
That's all you need.
Yeah. Man,
No, you do that. People tell you who you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know. That's,
Oh yeah, you know. I just get a lot better reaction. I'm like, oh boy, hey there, Ruby. And then you're like, gosh, Mickey, I didn't know we were doing a podcast tonight.
so
I picture Destiny in the background.
what is this guy doing? He's going to try to be on there every week.
Well, guys, we've become a group of 4.
So funny story about Mickey. So we went to Disney World. Well, we went to Universal last year for my son's birthday. My son's born around Thanksgiving, and we did the whole Chef Mickey Thanksgiving dinner thing, to celebrate his birthday and celebrate Thanksgiving since we weren't going to be with family. And they brought the Chef Mickey out and all the other mascots, whatever you want to call them.
Characters.
Yeah, that. Hey, it's football season, baby. That's all I'm saying. I got mascots on the brain, not characters. But Chef Mickey comes up, and I'm like, "Oh boy, hiya, kids," and I just start talking like that, and the guy that was with Chef Mickey just starts looking around and listen. Mickey's like throws his hand up. What are you doing?
You're stealing my gig, bro.
Well, no, he's looking at Mickey because he thinks Mickey's talking. And I just kept, saying whatever I wanted to say. And all of a sudden he saw me and he walked up. He's like, I really thought Mickey was over here talking. And I was really nervous just now. So good job on the Mickey impersonation. So
Mickey's like, you're stealing my groove, bro.
You got a pretty mean Mickey yourself.
I just said, hey, anytime you want to write a check, you just give me a shout. And I'll help you out.
There you go.
Anything else with Brandon Davis? I mean, we kept him. We started late, but we kept him late.
So we have kept him, but I just want to bring, this is all audio, so nobody can really see, but he came to it with the guitar. So I just was, wanting to elaborate on that. Is that just something you just always keep around, or
it's stuck to him?
It's always there just in case we got to pick something.
It's like my gun.
That one I'll show you if y'all are down for it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm shoot, you don't have to tell me twice.
Hit me with a good time.
So we've got a lot of songs that we've been cooking up for a good while, and this is one that I'm probably most excited for just because it's got a lot of connection with my dad and just how this journey has been. I feel like ever since you're a kid, you spend a lot of time trying to make it from one step to the next. And I've always rushed from that point. I wanted to hurry up and be 16 so I could drive. I wanted to hurry up and be old enough to play college ball or be old enough to finally go out and get a job that I felt was, going to make my life what I thought it needed to be. But you finally realize that when you rush through all these things and rush past them, that those things you were rushing after, once you got them, you've got them. Once you passed all those first times, you can't go back and relive them. And sometimes it's just better to sit back and wait. Everything's going to happen for a reason. Life is life. If you don't sit back and enjoy it, you realize one day that there's not going to be much left to enjoy. So I wrote this song with some buddies of mine that's called I Can Wait. I remember way back when I was 10, trying like hell to be my old man, big shoes to fill, and I ain't filled them yet. Been chasing big dreams down the road for a while. I'm scuffed up and scarred, but hey, that's life. Nothing worth having ever comes easy, I guess. But if it takes a little longer, I'll sit on back. Got everything I need right where I'm at. Long as I'm breathing and can hit my knees and pray. just gotta keep trying, gotta keep on laughing. I know deep down gonna get where I'm going someday, but I can wait.
Oh. Listen, that's the first time I've had the chance to use that button on here.
In an appropriate time.
Exactly.
So
Was
that's
that
what
exclusive?
I'm talking about.
Was that exclusive?
If you've come to a concert, you might have heard it, but there ain't very many people outside of that have.
That is what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. That's that relatability. That's that authenticity. That is you. That is it's your real experiences. And obviously, as we've alluded to several times, we can all relate to a lot of different things that you choose to sing about. So that's gonna be a hit.
Yeah, I got goosebumps.
Dude, I almost started crying, but I'm with two dudes right now, so I held off. Just being honest.
Well, I got that same wheels on the truck feel. That I'm like
goosebumps.
That's gonna be a hit.
It's a bop.
That's a bop.
Bob.
Oh, I'm going to use that term and get so many people wondering what in the hell I'm talking about.
Hey, man, just thank you. Thank you for your authenticity and your music. Thank you for hopping on with us tonight and everything. And man, hearing your story and everything, it's a instant inspiration for me personally. Just for me, I'm still trying to figure out what to do with life. So, but man, just thank you.
The good thing is, if you're still trying to figure out what to do, then you're doing something right. Ain't none of us got it figured out, and if we got it figured out, then there's something wrong.
Yep. Dropping the knowledge.
Can I drop the mic, Elliot?
No, don't drop that mic.
Need a prop mic for that.
That's right.
Brandon Davis, when are you coming back to South Carolina?
Man, as soon as we can.
Preferably the Columbia Lugoff area.
We're booking up the 2023 year, so just as soon as we can make our way back out that direction, y'all have got a beautiful spot out there, and especially there in that little town, man. We fell in love with that area whenever we came out that way.
That's the good old PD area, Florence, South Carolina.
Yeah, I saw y'all stopped by Darlington Raceway and took some pictures out there.
Oh, the kids were in heaven over that. They all they could talk about was how they were supposed to be the ones getting to drive the pace car. That was,
of course,
yeah. That was their big hope that got quickly shot down as we sat in the back seat. But either way, my son was like, "Are we actually on a race? Like the cars actually go around this?" I was like, "Yeah, buddy, they do a lot faster than what we're probably going right now, but they go around it."
Yeah.
So you're from Tennessee, born, raised, and residing in Tennessee. So if it's from your career or not, even on a personal level, where have you visited throughout the United States that you just like, man, this is nice?
South Carolina.
Nah. Well, if he says that about Florence, yeah.
When it comes to where we've toured and what we've done, I think the coolest part is that we've gotten to build relationships in each town that we've went to. And if I had to think back, I think South Carolina was probably one of them, just because we ended up getting together with a family down there that was just super, super humble and inviting, and just made us want to come back to the area, if anything, to get to see all of them again. But all the fans there were super supportive, and they came for the show just to hear the music, and you could tell that they knew the music. But the town was I was always a big fan of small towns, just because I was a Dukes of Hazzard fan, and seeing that small town life and that small town setting where everybody knows everybody has always been my biggest attraction to anywhere. So whenever I was hitting some of these small towns like Florence and a few other places, that was probably my biggest attraction, was just getting to know the people there. So it's not necessarily the town, but the folks in it.
In Tennessee, how far are you from Knox County?
Knox County, I mean, we're about an hour and a half, I guess.
Governor Kane.
That's Mayor Kane.
Oh yeah.
Because we're obviously big pro wrestling fans here. Have you ever gotten into pro wrestling? Out of curiosity, at any point in your life?
With my dad and my brother are huge WWE fans.
God bless them. I love wrestling fans. So you never got into it as much?
I got into it for a little bit, but right as they were really getting hot and heavy into it was when I was moving out of the house. And I had so many other things on the brain that I didn't stay with it as much as I did baseball. So,
They got into it and he got out the house.
BD was a Sting fan.
My brother tried going for it for a little bit. Like him and his friends had set up a ring and everything in the backyard, and they were going at it.
That sounds familiar.
They had some diehard stuff going on there for a little while in the backyard. And my dad, I think the biggest part for me, like what I loved about it, was just the show. Like the show that got put on was what attracted me to it.
Absolutely. Well, guys, did we have any other questions for Brandon Davis? I mean, poor guy's got to get some sleep.
Man, I don't have anything. Thank you for your patience in the beginning, for sure.
Thank y'all for dealing with my not so technically savvy brain over here.
I'm pretty sure it was our problem, but was it our issue?
Yeah, there
was multiple things going on.
Yeah.
But
it's all good, man. I just appreciate y'all having me on here.
Brandon, thank you so much for everything you do, everything you continue to do. Thank you for using your voice for good, and you are definitely changing the game for country music, bringing back that forgotten time of country music, as I call it. And I look forward to everything you release, man. Everything you have released has been absolute dynamite. Everything you continue to release is going to be even better. And thank you, Destiny. I know she's floating around in the background, I'm sure, for being his backbone and being his support, because definitely
a good publicist.
Yes. Great promoter. For everything you continue to do behind the scenes, because definitely without him or without you, I don't think any of this is possible, because you've been an absolute mainstay behind him.
She is the jack of all trades, man. I'm telling you.
The Jill of all trades.
A lot of people will say, I don't know what I'd do without somebody, but I don't know what in the world I would do without her.
Absolutely, man.
And Bucky, you got anything?
I was just gonna say, I think I speak for all of us. Just that we look forward to everything you release and where your career goes from here. It's only going to go up.
Man, I appreciate it from all y'all. We've got a lot of music on the way. Trust me, there's a long list of songs that I've been writing for a good decent while that I can't wait to share. And if I could share them all at once, I would. And until those days come when those things start hitting live, I'm just sitting here, twiddling my thumbs, picking more songs, writing more stories to tell until I'm able to share it with the world.
Well, Brady, we've been pushing that hit. We've been pushing that hit for you all over social media. Wheels on the Truck. All of our kids love it. Our families love it. Finish it with that. Well, let's hear it. Let's hear Wheels on the Truck.
Check it out on all streaming platforms.
Absolutely.
Right. All right, let's do a little bit of it.
So Asher can hear it.
Ever since the day Ford and Chevrolet put a tailgate on a VA, them two lanes sure ain't been the same, 'cause I figured out pretty girls like to go riding, radio up and 35's whining, riding, sheer smiling, reckon that's why we found wheels on the truck, go round and round. Boy picks up a girl in a small town, backseat sugar when the sun goes down. Wheels on the truck go round and round. Time goes marching like a country song. They go falling in love, and before too long, there's some little ones, then they grow up, write their own story in a pickup, and the wheels on the truck go round and round. Yeah, the wheels on the truck go round and round.
Yeah.
Oh, man, thank you.
He's as good live as he is in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, if not better.
There's no editing on that voice.
Not to mention, fun fact, the very first time I ever played this song live was in Florence. Believe it or not.
See, at the rodeo show?
We were at the rodeo show, and I had the day before we got there, I had just wrote this song and wanted to just test it and see what people thought. And that was the very first time I played it was live at the rodeo show.
Well, it was my second favorite. Now it's my number one favorite, just because of that. I mean, that's huge. Brandon Davis, thank you again so much. Sincerely, thank you to you and your whole family for taking out time, your busy schedule to shoot the breeze with us, man. We appreciate you, and God bless you and everything you continue to do, because it's going to be huge.
Yep, my son will enjoy listening back to that for sure. Guys, you've heard it today. Special guest Brandon Davis, sneak peek, preview, exclusive of I Can Wait. And you just heard his latest, greatest hit, Wheels on the Truck, which you can hear and download and stream on all platforms. Man, we can just hang it up for the rest of the night, guys.
Yeah, there's no touching that interview.
Man, promise me one thing when you come to Florence, just one thing. You got to try you got to eat our barbecue.
Let's do it.
Brandon, he ain't saying no barbecue.
He's like, man, you have me at meat. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, now you got me question. Mustard, vinegar, or ketchup?
Hey, I have a science for this if you're ready.
I'm a fan of all of them, dude. It's just according. Sometimes you don't even need the sauce, depending on the meat. But
I like mustard for sandwiches.
True.
If I'm just eating it with a fork, I want the vinegar and ketchup based mix, like a homemade barbecue sauce.
There you go. I can get behind that, and then you add in a little bit of hot slaw, and you got me hooked.
Hey, you eat Perlo?
That's disgusting. Do not.
Perlo is not disgusting.
That is disgusting.
How's it disgusting? Do you know what Perlo is? It's literally chicken, rice, and sausage.
It's got parts in it.
No.
That's another story for another time. I was there for that.
Look at Brandon knows. It's got parts of an animal in it I don't want to eat.
No, Perlo does not.
It did. Let this man go. Let this man go.
You're you're from New York.
Don't now you just ruined my rapport. That dang Yankee. Brandon, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, country music since
I appreciate y'all having me on. It means a lot. If it weren't for folks like y'all and folks like all the folks that come to these shows, like, I'm serious. I'm just a guy sitting in this house with a guitar.
You're the vessel, brother.
That's right.
I appreciate it, y'all. Thank y'all for having me on. And I wish y'all all the best and look forward to seeing y'all soon.
You'll see. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, country music sensation, Brandon Davis. Well, guys, before we continue, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Man, I'm sorry. I'm still perplexed by this interview we just had.
Because it was amazing.
It was really so good. This podcast is brought to you by Revolution Nutrition out of Camden, South Carolina. If you're local to the Columbia, Lugoff, Camden, Elgin area, swing on by to Revolution Nutrition and tell them you heard the lowdown. Use promo code lowdown for 10% off your order. And we are also brought to you by Day Soul Coffee Lab out of Birmingham, Alabama. Y'all consider myself a coffee connoisseur. I absolutely love coffee. I found what I believe to be the absolute best coffee out there. With Day Soul Coffee Lab, you can be sure to get coffee that's super smooth and always fresh roasted. Some of the best, if not the best, coffee you'll ever drink. So swing over to daysoulcoffeelab.co and use promo code LOWDOWN to get 10% off your order. They even have a subscription option where they'll deliver coffee directly to you every month. So it's a no-brainer, guys. If you're going to drink coffee, might as well make it great coffee. Day Soul Coffee Lab. Make sure you get your order and get 10% off. So good.
So good.
So good.
Speaking of Revolution, I'm drinking me a little loaded tea right now.
Yeah, what you got?
Gobstopper.
Okay. That is the tea directly from heaven itself.
So I had their I think it's called Autumn. One of their autumn
Nights or
yeah. The one that's got it's got the protein powder in it.
The red one?
No, it's like purplish, bluish.
Oh yeah, Elliot. Hey, I went to Revolution today. Guess who I saw there?
I'm sure you saw my wife.
Yeah, she sure was.
You didn't know we own stock in that?
Genius. So what'd you get today?
Got whatever Autumn Night.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's got grape and other stuff in it. It had me at grape. So
Diamond Tap. I like Diamond Tap too.
Yeah. I mean, you was drinking some when you came in.
Yeah. That was my purple drink.
I want that purple stuff.
That was my purple drink.
Who wants Sunny D? I want that purple stuff. Dave Chappelle. He wants it now. So, man, Brandon Davis was So good. Such a man. First, I didn't know what to expect going into the interview. I was nervous as all get out. I was sweating bullets over here whenever we were having technical difficulties and stuff early on. But man, such a good guy. And the one word that I think is synonymous with him is authentic.
For sure.
And just to, some backstory. I know we kind of mentioned it, but yeah, me and Shane were working an event in Florence at the rodeo, and he was performing that night, and he was doing sound check, and we were out there just kind of scoping out the area, and he kind of called us out, and then even after he got done performing, he came up there and kind of talked to us and took a picture. That's Shane's got it saved as his background on his phone, but
okay, guys, you're being a little over the top and over dramatic here.
But he's definitely very humble.
But
his Facebook cover is
authentic.
nice.
But going to that event, that rodeo, that he was performing at, I had already known who he was. I don't think Jonathan knew who he was at the time, and I don't think anybody else that we were with us knew who he was.
So I did not. We heard him perform, and I was like, "Oh man, he's like really, really good." So I went home that night and was talking to my wife, and I said something about his name, and she was like, "That name sounds familiar." And I was like, "Well, he got famous off TikTok," and I pulled up the video, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I knew who."
Hey,
immediately
baby.
knew who
Yeah,
it
he
was.
does the Hey Baby stuff. Yeah,
So
that's what Lindsay knew him by. She's like, "Oh yeah, he does the Hey Baby stuff." I was like, the guy that was doing TikTok, and all of a sudden Tim McGraw heard him doing a cover of his own song and was like, "Hey, you do it better than I do."
I wish we talked to him about that Tim McGraw call. It just slipped my mind, but to be able to, and all of his videos are like in real time.
Yeah,
like he captures moments at the time they're happening.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to have a lot of editing and all that.
And it's awesome. That's what I like, and I think as long as he continues that, it's no matter how big he gets, that the TikTok stuff needs to continue happening.
Yeah, and speaking of social media, man, guy reached 1 million subscribers today, 1 million followers on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean,
huge.
What'd you say?
Huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Fantastic.
insert Trump.
That's Trump.
Maybe.
No, God!
That's Trump when he saw the election results. But
I was thinking of the raid, but anyways.
either way. But yeah, that was by far the interview that I look forward to the most. It's definitely one of my favorite interviews, and just not knowing what to expect. I just love how organic that conversation is with him. Obviously we don't prepare anything anyway when we have these interviews, but I just think that one it was just so relatable, and it was absolutely awesome.
So I knew the interview was going to be good. I just had a good feeling going into it. And then as soon as he joined, I saw him sitting down with the guitar, and I was like, oh, it's about to be real good.
Hey, what you got that thing for? Where'd
you get that?
It is a nice guitar. Really nice.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Is it nice?
Yeah, it's like a Gibson J45. For sure.
Is it nice? Is that good?
What was that?
I don't know. Insert Tony Khan gif.
Oh, man.
Y'all haven't seen that gif yet.
Oh, gosh. Speaking of Tony Khan,
All right.
he had a big show. Big show.
Paul White?
Grand Slum.
Oh.
Grand Slum. Big show. Well, no more BS here. I'm doing a handbag.
It's called Grand Slum.
I did.
It hasn't happened yet.
No,
tonight.
I was saying Grand Slam, but
Referring to New York City's Grand Slum.
I don't want to foreshadow the event.
No, you're just referring to New York City as Grand Slum.
Yeah, that's true fits.
It's true. I hate that city. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it.
Arthur Ashe.
I am looking forward to it. There's a
It's
pretty
gonna-
good card, too.
It's going to be the first Dynamite that's going to hit $1 million gate.
Yeah, so you got
That's huge.
well, and they also Rampage is going to be 2 hours and
It's
live.
live. Yep.
I'm going to watch it.
And dude, if they still have it at 10 o'clock, I don't know if I'll be able to stay up, man.
I'm not going to watch it. On DVR.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'll try and stay up and watch it too. That's man.
I'll mark out.
Yeah,
Yeah. The whole show.
man, I don't know if I'll be able to stay. That's my birthday, so I don't know what I'll be able to do.
How about
Speaking of, hey,
You should be able
John,
to do what you want to do.
well, speaking of Friday night, I think we're gonna plan on going to Redbone at 7 if you want to come, Jonathan.
In Florence?
Yeah.
I've already told your wife to make sure he comes.
Yeah,
we're going to be there.
I know. She told me, hey, invite Jonathan.
I already was.
I'll already be in Florence.
Yeah, we're already there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Why
tell you.
are
Hey,
we
you're-
taking up the wrestling segment with Redbone? By the way, folks, if you haven't been to Redbone Alley in Florence, South Carolina,
Be there.
huh?
You were not in Florence.
I'm not.
No.
I don't. Ladies and gentlemen, so Jonathan Winburn is my. Why am I not in Florence?
You were at the orchestra till like 11.
Oh,
Oh, you might need to let your wife know that because she's planning on us being.
so ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't
Yes,
know
if
the
you're listening
preface
to
of the
this.
conversation, Jonathan Winburn is the associate manager on my team for our wireless carrier that we work for, and he knows my schedule.
Well, you mentioned it earlier in the interview, so
Well, I'm alluding to it now specifically. He knows my schedule better than me.
T maybe.
I didn't know. I did not know. Okay, so I'm not going to be in Florence. Okay, can we switch?
I mean, I definitely sent
Where's
that
the
out
orchestra?
a couple.
Irmo.
Sent that out a couple of days ago. Yeah, just for reference.
Mm.
Somebody doesn't read the group chat.
Real.
Which one,
Okay.
brother? Oh,
So Tony Khan,
yeah, yeah.
Crown Jewel, New York City. Remember? Ooh.
The real crown
I
jewel.
mean, I can see where the similarities are with Saudi Arabia.
Oh
and New
my
York City.
Lord, man! Like, oh man, these shots continue, bro.
Why did? Sorry. Speaking of managers with the company y'all work for, why did he send me a picture of Zach Galifianakis?
I didn't say
Is that Dick Museums?
Yes.
That's because it's this
one
twin.
museum I wouldn't want to go to.
Like the pancake place. Oh.
Dick Trickle. Dick Trickle.
Driving a syphilis Ford.
Syphilis. Did you say syphilis?
Syphilis Ford.
Oh, syphilis.
Ladies and
This
gentlemen,
podcast is just going completely off the rails.
I'm just trying to talk wrestling, folks. That's,
welcome to the Tampax 200. It's a beautiful summer's eve out here.
I'm really trying to talk wrestling.
We'll edit this out and post.
Yeah, no, we won't. Too much work. So yeah, back to Grand Slam. Tony Khan mentioned that Shane alluded to it earlier. First $1 million gate they've had. Also, kind of made some more shots at WWE with
Are they becoming too much?
who?
The shots.
I think so. I
It's
think
becoming over the top. But I was a fan of it at first, and like I was like, oh, this is cute. You know, somebody's really shooting on Vince. But now it's like, okay, bro, like, come on.
I think it's
Can't we just focus on your product?
yeah. I think
Because you have enough problems as it is.
well. I think that's I think that's the thing that for me it's one of those things. Hey, okay, taking a shot here and there is one thing, but when you show that you are having issues running your locker room, controlling your locker room,
Your mouth goes shut.
yeah, you really don't have much room to talk here, brother. And as much as I love the product and much as I like TK,
Granted, I do too. I think he's what wrestling needed, or he's brought what wrestling's needed, pro wrestling on the domestic front. But the similarities are, I don't know, man. It reminds me too much of WCW. I never wanted to really like believe it at first, but now it's like it just keeps going and going and going. The backstage drama, it's becoming public. Trouble in paradise, so to speak, and a constant pot shots, as you want to call them, to the competition, because right now WWE is on fire, and the fan base is hot, is piping hot.
I still don't know about on fire. I mean, I still struggle.
When I say on fire, I'm talking about like let's talk about like the storyline from a creative standpoint has been on point, been much better than it's been in past.
Man, I still struggle staying awake for Raw.
So
It's because it's 3 hours.
I'll
I
say
fall asleep in the first two.
I'm more excited when I hear announcements or when I see things that Triple H is doing or that WWE is doing, but it hasn't related to me being more excited for the show itself. Which I was gonna bring that up and ask you guys. Do you prefer kind of the way AEW handles things, where they pretty much have the whole card announced before the show? I know I get Rampage because it's usually taped, so they already know what they're recording. But even Dynamite, I mean, even before the show goes live, I mean, they pretty much have the whole card announced. And
I like that personally.
Raw and SmackDown might have like 1 or 2 matches announced on the card, so it just doesn't.
So from the Palmetto Championship Wrestling approach, we don't ever announce anything. We might announce a match or something that's going to happen, like the Ethan Case, Donnie Ray thing. But we've always believed in the fruitfulness of organic promotion, making sure when fans are in attendance that you're giving them the best product you possibly can to entice them to come back, and they don't even have to announce anything for them to come back. They're just going to come back because they know what they're going to expect.
Yeah,
but you have to have the good product first. What were you saying, buddy?
No, I was just saying I personally prefer having a card. I like knowing what to expect. I don't care where it's at on the card, but I like knowing what to expect in the card. And that being said, surprises are okay, but if I go into a show not knowing anything that's going to happen, for me, that's like, for me it's kind of one of those things that I'm just like, I don't know what to expect tonight, so I'll just not even worry about it.
Let's use the SmackDown approach here. What they're doing with this 923 and the bunny thing. I mean, that's got everybody wanting to tune in, at least at that time on Friday.
So
I'll be at Redbone.
Okay.
Honestly,
so combative.
I'll probably just wait until SmackDown's over and look it up on YouTube. That's and I understand people's excitement of what could be and what
will be.
Well, what could be. I mean, you can't say will be because you don't know for a fact that's what it will be, but it's what's anticipated.
It's going to be.
And
in Bray we trust.
But I mean, somebody said, "Oh, that White Rabbit, that's Killer Cross, that's Karrion Kross."
And even in the video, there's an hourglass in the corner, and that's his thing. So
it's not. Come on, guys. Okay, let's just bad promoting 101 is building people up on the expectation of something and then completely crapping on it by giving them something else.
So in other words, it would just be another line out of the WWE playbook.
But
I wouldn't call it that.
No,
I'd call it Vince playbook.
No, it's the WWE playbook.
I think
Vince McMahon is WWE.
No, he's not anymore.
But does it have to be Wyatt to
only
have the impact?
Because that's what the fans expect. That's the only reason it has to be.
What if it's somebody's debut?
Okay. Well, let's say it is somebody's debut. A, who is it? And B, who is it going to be that's going to make the people forget about Bray?
I think it's Bad Bunny showing up again.
We got a problem. Man, that's it. And where's that sound effect? But you cannot continuously build up the expectation of something else and deliver something else. It's the definition of insanity. It's got to be Bray. If it's not, they risk alienating a lot of people again.
It definitely seems like it's Bray. I mean, I'm not going to lie about that.
It's that 1%. What if it's not? It's like the Cody thing, like there was that one, there's that, or no, not the Cody thing, the CM Punk sellout at in Chicago when he was like, the best part was there was just that 1% that was said, well, what if, it's kind of that feeling again.
However, I do feel I felt way more confident that it was CM Punk showing up in Chicago than I do it being Bray on Friday. Just something's in my gut is telling me it's not going to be. As much as everything's going that direction.
It's going to be bad.
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. They're promoting it. They're promoting the show based on this one thing. I mean, you were just watching something about it. So
I was. So the clip I watched was the Hangman thing that said who killed the world, and it spells out "you did," but then it cuts to a promo of Bray being interviewed by Michael Cole, and Bray says in the interview, like, "Who killed the world?" And then he's like, "You did." And he's yelling at Michael Cole, but I think just
there's just too many things
to
now.
the WWE universe.
I mean, we're here Wednesday. We're Wednesday morning, so we're 2 days away. So they're just pushing the narrative that it is definitely Bray, but without confirming it's Bray. It needs to be Bray. It just has to be. If it's not, it's gonna be bad. But I am looking forward to it. I will be watching it on my phone from Irmo at the orchestra.
All right, so let's go through this Grand Slam card.
Let's hit it
real quick. So on Dynamite tonight, you have Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship. You have Swerve.
Well, what's the prediction for it? Yeah,
I get Danielson.
I think I'm leaning towards Moxley.
it's tough.
If Moxley wins, it won't surprise me because he's been the workhorse. He was the one who didn't go on his 6-week vacation.
That combined with the fact that everybody keeps alluding to the fact that Bryan's been champion all three companies after Punk left or something happened with Punk leads me to believe that they're not going to go that route.
He'll be the first three-time champion.
Moxley? Yeah.
Also, Moxley and MJF had the stare off in the ring already. I mean, everything's
got him lurking still.
Everything's there for Moxley. I would have MJF take it in at Grand Slam. I'd have him cash in.
What if there's a moment where both are down and he turns into a triple threat? And
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think
I would have MJF cash in some way somehow.
That New York crowd would erupt.
Yeah, I mean they would. Full Gear is not that far away. I mean, usually the AEW pay-per-views are kind of spaced out, but it's actually I think the beginning of November, so it's not that far away. So I think they're going to have the MJF title match there and promote it.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, if whoever wins, they have that time to promote it. Because of what they've already done with Moxley and MJF already talking trash to Moxley and all that. I understand Moxley probably is going to win it, but I'm going to say Danielson anyways.
All right.
What about you?
Didn't you say Danielson?
That's my pick. I just think
because of the history.
Yeah, I just think because of the history, I think it would be kind of weird for them to have just taken the belt off of Moxley,
put it back on
him to take it off. I mean, to do all that again. I think I'm gonna go with Danielson.
You also have AEW Tag Team Championship with Swerve and Our Glory versus The Acclaim. Everybody loves The Acclaim, right?
It's their time.
Everybody loves The Acclaim.
This is it. Like was it last week or 2 weeks ago? We were like, oh my gosh, they should have did the switch. Now's the time. The rematch. This is it. No way they do it. They don't again doing the same thing that the crowd wants the title change. This is it.
I'm acclaiming it that The Acclaim will win.
Yes, I'm in agreement. Full agreement.
Jonathan.
I'm full agreement.
I do think the Acclaim is going to win, but it would not surprise me if they had Swerve and them keep the belts.
Yeah,
full heel turn right there.
Well, so the interesting dynamic you have is Swerve. Swerve is full heel already.
Yeah,
but Lee is nice guy. I think what you have is you have the Acclaim take it. I think you have a split with Swerve and
I do hate that because they're so good together. What they've been able to do together collectively. I would hate to see that team prematurely broken up.
Did you see what Swerve said recently about being in AEW compared to WWE?
Yeah, he's forgotten his all his.
Within the first 3 months, I forgot about the last 3 years. He loves it. Yeah, he's loving it in AEW.
So you then have the AEW All Atlantic Championship, Pac versus Orange Cassidy.
This is interesting. I love Pac. Orange, he's an OG, right? An Orange G. And I'm sorry. He's an Orange G. But no, for real, he needs to be rewarded, and he has been rewarded into a sense where like he's been in AEW world title matches, or he's been in a world title match, and it was made to look really good. But I think it's time that he gets rewarded with some gold.
I wonder what PAC's clearance is into Canada. I wonder that because they're
From the COVID stuff,
they're going
to be vaccinated or something.
They're going to be traveling
to Toronto.
To Toronto soon. I see Ethan Page winning the All In Championship in Toronto in Canada. Because we know Ethan Page is going to go after it here soon. We just don't know if it's going to be against PAC or Orange. But I think Orange wins it for at least a short time.
Can be like not an interim champion, but like I hate to use the term
hangman
paper champion, but
hangman champion.
I think I'm going to go with Pac just because I know he's defended it, other companies and kind of on the indies and stuff, but he really hasn't defended it much since he's won it on AEW TV. So I don't see them taking it off of him just yet.
I think you take it off of him because he still has the Trios Championship, so he still has a belt, and he is one of your guys who is one of your, in my opinion, one of the top guys in the ring. Not to be confused with
that's FTR.
Yeah, I was gonna say not to be confused with FTR, but that's my pick. I think Orange takes it. Then had the AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm versus Britt Baker versus Athena versus Serena Deeb. I hope Athena takes it. I think to keep it on Storm or else give it to Britt. But I hope
fatal 4-way first fall wins the whole thing.
I think so.
Okay. So if Britt takes it, it doesn't involve Tony getting pinned. It would be Serena Deeb.
Yeah.
Serena.
I think if anyone takes the pin, it's Athena. I mean, she's her track record's not too great in regards to championship matches. She's gotten beat plenty of times by Jade Cargill. So
my ultimate pick is I think Toni Storm retains. I just think it's still a premature reign. I think she's improving in all facets of that game. I think the belt looks good on her. I think it's appropriate. I think it would be again premature to end that reign now.
I've said it from the beginning. I've never been a fan of her work.
You said that the night she debuted, we were there, and you were like,
I still don't see anything special about her in the ring.
It's mostly gimmick. She's got that. What do you call it?
She's got a good look, good punk rock. 80. I could even say 80s, 90s grunge punk rock.
Yep.
Look,
the music is phenomenal.
Music's great. She comes out with looking like Left Eye from TLC.
Yeah.
But I've never been impressed with her. I wasn't impressed with her to NXT UK, NXT. I wasn't impressed with her feud with Charlotte when she was in WWE. Still not impressed with her.
You have held that opinion since the first day.
And I think
that never wavered at all.
Not a bit.
I think putting the belt on her was not a good idea. I think they should have put it on Britt Baker. I understand why. I know why they want to put it on it, but for me, you have Ruby Soho, Athena, Britt Baker, Chris Statlander is injured, but you have a number of women who could have been the replacement for Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Even Jamie Hayter. I mean,
I hate her.
So. I think Toni takes it too. I mean, she just won the belt last week, so I don't see them. Was it last week?
Within the last couple weeks.
Yeah, last week or the week before, so I don't see them taking it off of her that soon. But we still got one more match that's announced to talk about. But so far, Elliott has all three champions belts changing hands, and I don't see that happening on the show. Somebody's got to retain. But we'll get that might happen in the last match.
So the last match is the Ring of Honor. You're talking about the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Yeah, Chris Jericho versus Claudio Castagnoli. And Claudio wins.
Okay.
Although I'd love to see Chris Jericho hit it.
Here's my pick. Chris Jericho wins the Ring of Honor World Championship in New York. And
Fans will hate that too.
Once again, becomes the face of the new TV deal.
You know what? That makes sense.
That is coming. Because something's coming down the pipeline.
October.
For sure.
That's the latest thing I saw. They said come October they would be some big announcement.
So I whether it be HBO Max or something's coming down the pipeline where they're going to have something rights to Ring of Honor.
2-hour segment on CBS.
Anything. And Chris Jericho is once again, he was the face of WCW, he was the face of WWE, he was the face of AEW. And what kind of, if that doesn't cement his Hall of Fame career.
He's not the GOAT, don't worry.
So I ultimately think Claudio wins, but I want to see Jericho win.
Because it would be awesome.
He wins and he just slips off the camera.
Oh, man, this would be great.
AEW Galaxy, appreciate us.
This would be great. What a way to end. I hope that ends the show.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how he opens and ends the show.
Well, it's got to close the AEW World Championship. It's got to. It has to. Just because it's AEW.
I don't know.
Just because it's AEW makes me think it might not.
Yeah.
It's got to close with the World Championship.
I don't think it does. I think it opens.
I think it opens with the Ring of Honor World Championship. It's a bookend. It opens Ring of Honor, closes AEW. You cannot put Ring of Honor after AEW.
If Swerve and Our Glory versus Acclaim closed the show, I'd be okay with it.
There's no chance.
Wrong show.
Oh. No chance in hell. Yeah, no. That's no. Okay, opening the show maybe with a tag team match. Yes. But
It would start hot.
it's got to close with the AEW World Championship.
The only way I think it closes with AEW World Championship if there's some type of MJF, not even interference, but there's something with MJF at the end.
Kind of a stare down or something.
Even if it's stare down. Yeah.
That's my prediction. I'm sticking to it.
So then Friday you have a 2-hour Rampage live. You got Eddie Kingston versus Sammy Guevara, who's supposedly gone.
This is interesting.
Because he said we would find out tomorrow.
This is interesting.
Or today.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah, this is interesting. There's a lot of weird things going on in AEW,
bro. That's why I said, he on his vlog, he said he did. He talked about his contract and said he did not want to leave.
He just dropped a new vlog yesterday.
Had no plans to leave it or anything. I think his most recent vlog, I think he said we'll find out on Dynamite. It took, unless he's got like a match left on his contract and his contract doesn't end until Friday night or Saturday, it's hard for me to believe that they would keep pushing him being scheduled and him not be. So
It's interesting.
Or who knows? Maybe that he is done, and they just have a squash match with him and Eddie, and Eddie just knocks him out. Who knows? Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks rematch. I think
Starks wins.
Starks wins. Yeah.
The Golden Ticket Battle Royale. That'll be interesting.
Golden ticket, like Willy Wonka? I've got a golden ticket.
Yeah, sure.
Well, what's the preface of this match?
It's a battle royal for the shot at the AEW World Heavyweight Championship to go along with the casino chip.
What? That's what this is?
What?
This is for a number one contender spot to the AEW World Championship.
Hold on. A battle royal on the 2-hour Rampage will leave yet another wrestler with a future shot at the AEW title. They would join MJF, who still hasn't cashed in his chip, and by this point, a new champion will have been crowned.
For the love of God, can somebody get some good writers into this program?
That makes me wonder if MJF cashes in his chip.
I hope MJF is in the Battle Royal and wins it. Then he's got both.
Right now, the only 4 people they have is Lance Archer,
all the forgotten people.
Penta, Adam Page, and Jay Lethal.
Okay, all the people they couldn't find room for, they put them in a battle royal. Okay, perfect. That sounds familiar.
I'm guessing Hangman wins. Wins that.
It'll probably be somebody random.
Can somebody make this make sense to me?
Satnam Singh.
Oh God,
Sanjay Dutt.
I think that's where Tony needs help. I think Tony needs help in the creative and in creative department.
Well, my thing is it's fine to do that. If you have plans for MJF to cash in on Wednesday night. But what I would not do is advertise it.
MJF's cash in?
But I still don't think it's a cash in. I think it's just a
golden
future
ticket
match. I don't think it's a like Money in the Bank cash in.
Well, they could easily turn it into that.
I mean, they could, yeah, but they haven't mentioned anything about it on TV at all. It's
they just said he gets a match,
future title shot.
Yeah, I just think you don't waste the whole golden ticket thing whenever you just got the chip.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm really, really trying not to cuss. I just can't stand the cartooniness here. Like forget it. What's the next?
You got Jay Cargill.
I mean, I am drinking a gobstopper.
You got Jay Cargill versus Diamante for the TBS championship.
Jay Cargill wins that.
Yeah, that's easy.
Next.
Yeah, Hook and Action Bronson versus Magic Daddy or Daddy Magic Matt Menard and Cool Hand Angelo Parker.
So Daddy Magic's gonna have the spot of the match here, and it's gonna take something from what's Bronson there?
Yeah, Action Bronson.
He's gonna destroy Daddy Magic, and I can't wait. I think it's gonna create a great moment. Action Bronson's got a very big following, so putting him in this environment in New York, I think is a smart move. I think it's a really good move. I'm excited to see what he does.
Well, they're from the Red Hook district. Is that around Chicago, or is that New York?
New York. Red Hook is Brooklyn. That's
yeah.
where Taz is from. And Hook. So is Taz involved? Taz has gotten in shape. Who knows what he's got up his sleeve?
You also got Sting and Darby versus House of Black.
What a sad. Of course, you can't talk about House of Black without talking about Malachi. And of course, prayers and good thoughts go out to Malachi Black as he's dealing with his mental health, and ultimately, I think Malachi's going back to WWE. So I'm interested to see what they do with the House of Black, because I think Tony actually patented that term, or trademarked it, whatever the word is. So it's definitely obvious that he plans on keeping that group together. I'm interested to see how they stay afloat without the person that epitomizes.
Isn't that 923?
It is.
Y'all are being stupid. Y'all are being dumb. Okay, you're over the top.
You're questioning yourself now, aren't you?
I'm not questioning myself, because the 923 stuff is WWE put out. Okay, stop. Now, I wouldn't put it past Tony to do something at 923 to draw viewers in, but it's not Bray. So
that would be amazing if Rampage was at 7.
I don't get it.
Because it would be before SmackDown. 923 is the date.
But it's also the time.
It was the time, and then at that time they ran a QR code across.
They put 923 is the date, and then they changed it to 923 to the time.
And then at 923, another QR code walked across the crowd.
Anybody scan that QR code by any chance?
I did not.
It's all going down this Friday night.
Wow, you're in Irma.
I'll be watching it, at least that 923 segment.
You also got Ray Phoenix versus Jungle Boy.
But real quick, I'm not completely sold. So Malachi's not going to be on TV for a while, and he got his conditional release. But
it's been reported that he inquired about going back to WWE before.
Well, I don't think.
Again,
yeah,
quote unquote reported.
The conditional release is what's got me curious. knowing how everything works with like 90-day non-compete and stuff like that. Like, wonder if there's either something in there that says he can't go back to WWE, or like the way. I mean, they didn't really address it last week, him not being there, and then the last thing that we saw on him on TV was Thing spitting the mist in his eyes. So like, he might come back to AEW. I mean, he might just be off for a couple months.
Here's the thing: this man has or had 4.5 years left on a contract. Like, I mean, that's a long time.
The condition could be, hey, you gotta wait until your contract runs out, brother.
Conditional release to me sounds like I'm not gonna say a promotional tactic.
It's a legal term,
but legal term to, like, as far as like, okay, you know, instead of saying like not suspended, but like,
hey, you can
just taking time off.
Yeah,
like to me, it sounds almost like another term for like just time off, but in a way where it gets people talking also, like it storyline wise.
You can take time off, have a quote unquote conditional release, but hey, you're not a free agent.
And see, the other side of the token, you can take time off, but why would you go trademark House of Black? House of Black is Malachi Black. Malachi Black and Brody King. I mean, those two together, even on the scene in AEW, they're kind of synonymous with one another. So, I'm intrigued. I'm not as sold on Malachi going back to WWE as I am Bray going back to WWE, but I'm interested to see what he does.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens for sure. Either way, on either side. I just mentioned Ray Phoenix versus Jungle Boy.
That'll be good.
It'll just be a good match.
I think that'd be great. I mean, Jungle Boy, they put him over.
Yeah, Ray can lose a match and still look good and be over. So,
Luchasaurus comes back as face.
Stop. Are you kidding? Are you being serious?
No, I'm kidding.
I can't tell with you.
he comes out of the right tunnel. Like, what are you doing?
Green mask.
Wearing green.
Green mask.
Nah, I do think Jungle Boy takes it. I think the program he's in with Christian, they're just going to continue to build that until Christian's back to 100%.
I could see Lucha interfering and causing Jungle Boy the match again or something like that. So the Jungle Boy doesn't lose, or so Ray Phoenix doesn't lose or go over. And I could even see him attacking both of them, to kind of show that dominance that they're trying to build him as. Looks like last match, they have Wardlow and Samoa Joe versus Tony Nese and Josh Woods.
Wow. Okay. I'm going with Wardlow and Joe. Tony Nese and Josh Woods, nice knowing you. That's going to be a squash.
Enhancement.
An enhancement match.
And Josh Woods, I mean, both of them are unbelievable talents.
I'll say I think the possibility of the Josh Woods and Samoa Joe storyline could be good. Because I mean, like you said, he's very talented in the ring and stuff. So I think that's definitely got some potential and everything. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So what I'm surprised is just kind of reading off the card. I mean, I know there's definitely some spots in the Golden Ticket Battle Royal that they haven't announced yet, but just reading everybody that you've read and just going through the card, one glaring omission is not having FTR on the show at all so far.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not involved in anything.
Well, I know the reason for that already. Because Dax posted the other day, he's actually on his anniversary trip.
So there'll probably be a recorded segment.
Probably a vignette or something. Yeah. What else?
I think that's all we got AEW wise. I mean, we've talked about kind of alluded to the Bray situation, but I didn't know if there was anything else Shane wanted to add to it. He's the one that's pretty adamant. He's WWE bound.
About Bray? I just stand by my sentiment, man.
So if he comes back, who does it make sense? Like, where does it make sense for him to? I mean, he's not going to feud with Roman. Roman's got multiple things going on. That just
It's got something to do.
With Loomis?
That'd be interesting, but it's got something to do with. I think they're gonna go incorporate Alexa into it again. I just think with what they did to the match with her, or at least having Lily there and the red light during her match, I just think it's. They were great together. I think they were really good. It was when he left and they kept Alexa in that role that it wasn't any good.
Yeah, it just didn't work.
No, it didn't work at all. But I think them together was interesting. And here's my hope and prayer, whatever you want to call it, is that please, if Bray Wyatt is returning, let this man go with his mind and his unbelievable knowledge of the business and what he knows will work for him. Because there's one thing that's undeniable from the day he got released, or when he does post cryptic stuff on his social media, he has a very ingenious mind for like riddles and mystique and the unknown. I just think just let him go.
I mean, wherever he goes, I don't think he goes anywhere unless he has
correct
control. So
I agree.
If he's there, I mean, I think he's got control over what happens.
It's gonna be wherever he goes, it's going somewhere, and it's gonna be good.
But the Alexa thing throws me off too, because all this stuff is about the White Rabbit. It's not Bray. It's not the Eater of Worlds. It's not the Fiend. It would be, it's almost like it's another persona. So where I don't think Alexa would fit into that.
So I did read a report that intrigued me. I think I messaged it to one of y'all, but about Bray pitched an idea of doing like the three faces of Foley gimmick, but with his three personas. Which one does he turn on? Which one does he use where? Depending on the situation. I think that would be very interesting, especially for somebody with his kind of creative mind and somebody that could pull it off like that. Because Mick Foley had a very creative mind too. Like his work or not, he knew how to work whatever gimmick he was working.
Well, and if you think about it, it was technically like four personas, because you had Cactus Jack, you had Mankind, Dude Love, and in the end you had Mick Foley.
I mean, you had Mick Foley as a commissioner.
As commissioner.
I mean, so he could do so many different things.
Connection.
So many different things. And
Mrs. Foley's baby boy.
Yeah. And my favorite was always Cactus Jack, dude, because just when you heard that music, like, it was on. That's it. I'll never forget, like, that promo he cut with Triple H was in the ring and all the Foleys are on the screen. And Foley's like, you're not good. You're not getting, you're getting Cactus Jack. And Triple H freaked out because, like, there's just that one gimmick that he had that struck fear into whoever he was facing. So then you have Bray Wyatt, who has several gimmicks who strike fear into whoever he's facing. So it's like, how do you do it? But I'm intrigued. I'd be intrigued.
Well, that most recent photo going around of what his potential Fiend gear or whatever looks like is very disturbing for me.
Talk about the Scarborough mask that he made, new one.
I just know it looks like he's like, there's all sorts of like a long hair that goes up top, straight up type of thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be gold. I just like Wyndham. I just like his knowledge, and I like his creative mind.
Man, for me though, I just want to see. I love it when families wrestle together.
I know where you're going.
And for me, I want to see his brother Taylor Rotunda.
I want them together.
I want them together, big time.
Yep. And Taylor was. I don't know if he's still in the scene, but he was working on the scene. He looks amazing.
Pretty good realtor too.
This is true.
So how upset are you going to be if it's just Logan Paul showing up in a white bunny outfit?
Oh, what's the years ago in WWE?
They had a white bunny.
Yeah,
it was Adam
Rose.
Adam Rose. Oh,
that's who it's going to be.
No, it's not.
Book it.
Nope.
That White Rabbit by a bunny.
I will never watch. Mark my words. I will never watch WWE again.
If it's not Bray Wyatt.
If it was somebody like that. It's Logan Paul, Bad Bunny, or Adam, whatever his name was.
Gonna be Vince McMahon in a bunny mask.
See, I would never watch WWE again.
Now, it is fun to have
I got all of you.
You know, the Cody situation with WWE it made WWE interesting. This has made WWE interesting. I mean,
they have
the QR code and stuff
it's
not even something they're promoting. It's just been like placed here and there, and then fans have run wild, which is what has made me hesitant. I think on Bray is that they're not leaning into it, which is, I mean, it's a smart move because the fans reacted. If that's the case, the fans reacted exactly how they anticipated.
WWE used the QR code to announce something else in the past. I can't remember what it was. It was something to do with NXT, and it gave a date.
Yeah, but this was just like in the background. The first one, I mean, it was just Theory's backstage, and there was just a QR code.
But if you scan it, it takes you to this place. Come on.
So, but they didn't like, hey, scan this. I mean, it was just there. People just scanned it, and then it led somewhere.
It took off like a wildfire, and they didn't have to spend a dime to do it. It's genius.
I mean, for all we know, the fan that walked by with the QR code in the middle of the show and the QR code backstage was somebody that really works at the arena. It's just causing a big stir up. But I say all that to say, as fun as it is to talk about this and make it WWE interesting again, then you turn around and you have Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, which
what if
Logan
wins
can
the
go
belt in Saudi Arabia?
I think Logan can go.
I would absolutely love it.
I'm not excited about the match. Like
Logan
does nothing for me.
Well, I understand it, but let's not shortchange Logan Paul because he looked really good.
He can definitely go. I mean, he's had 2 matches.
I think it's one of those things.
Like Goldberg.
I think it's one of those things that you just kind of you look at his superstardom. It's one of those things that you book superstars to win here and there, but lose the big matches. And Logan Paul can go in. Roman can help him have a heck of a match, and he can lose to Roman, and nobody thinks anything of it, but they can have a good match because of how athletic and talented Logan Paul is shown to be already.
So if Logan I can't believe I'm saying that. If Logan wins the belt in Saudi Arabia, does WWE risk the whole WCW David Arquette bit?
Very much so.
Or it may be even worse.
I mean, I think
at least David Arquette was he was a household name at the time.
I mean, so is Logan Paul. I mean, Logan Paul's got how many millions of followers on social media?
Okay. Well,
I mean,
I think in this,
Scream
in this
or Ready to Rumble
day and age, Logan Paul is a bigger star than Arquette was back when WCW had him do everything.
It was Ready to Rumble. It was an Oscar-worthy performance.
Not even close.
Dewey.
I mean, I think Logan Paul may have mentioned this on his podcast where he was talking to Paul Heyman, and they just kind of alluded that Logan Paul is able to come in and bring people who follow him who may not follow wrestling, and because of how big his following is, that's a pretty good likelihood that it happens. So I think that's the whole point of Logan Paul's match with Reigns is just trying to continue to build on that following, and again, it's you're able to put the champ up against a big known superstar, celebrity in a foreign country. So Crown Jewel gets what they want. You're able to make your money, and the champ's able to retain.
They can't have Logan Paul win in Saudi Arabia because the reaction would be piss poor.
Oh, yeah.
So
sure.
They can't have a title change. Here's something So what's been synonymous? Like what's missing from this Saudi show that's been a part of every single Saudi show?
The Royal Rumble.
The legends, the nostalgic.
There's no talk of any.
Oh yeah,
Saudi wants that. Like that's like their thing. You know, they get off on that. So like,
you'll probably have John Cena show up.
Yabba dabba doo. There's a funny joke behind that. Funny story.
I think I heard something along those lines that there's a chance that John Cena is at Crown Jewel.
Oh, you're being real. You're.
No, I'm being serious. Yeah.
It's like all I can see is Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of the greatest things I remember. It was unbelievable.
One thing I will say kind of intrigued me on Raw was the AJ and Finn Balor thing. You know, AJ's kind of pissed at Finn right now because of Judgment Day. And Finn's like, bro, I haven't changed. Matter of fact, I want you part of this. Offer still stands. So you think we have AJ join? And pause on that real quick. Dominic couldn't even get his promo out because the crowd was booing so heavily.
So I'll touch. Go ahead.
Bray Wyatt comes back. Just hit me. Bray Wyatt comes back to WWE when in that promo video when it went to spell out the words, it spelled demon first. It spelled demon first. Bray Wyatt comes back and joins Finn Balor. Demon. They join. Calling it right now, as you were.
But Balor hasn't been the demon.
Exactly.
But see so I'll touch on the AJ thing. So I read somewhere, I think this morning, that WWE's like on paper they're advertising Saturday night's main event this Saturday, the 24th, which is like I've not seen any promotion for that. So I don't know if that's the case. But the rumored main event is AJ Styles versus Roman. If that happens, I mean, I don't like I said, I haven't seen anything, so I don't know if it was just something I read. But
that Saturday night main event is probably it's just a house show on a Saturday, is all it is.
Okay,
they bill it as a Saturday night's main event, but it shouldn't be.
I didn't know if it was like a Peacock special or something, because I was gonna say I would normally say no to AJ joining Balor, but I think with Survivor Series coming up, if you could build Roman.
Bloodline
versus Judgment Day, that would make sense to have AJ in the match at some point, or kind of within Judgment Day.
Well, and then you also have kind of because wasn't Damian Priest from formerly Punishment Martinez, wasn't he part of Bullet Club?
Oh man, I don't know. Who wasn't a part of Bullet Club?
I feel like he was, but I might be wrong. But I'm just thinking, you kind of had that Bullet Club nostalgia there. With those three, I may be wrong on Damian Priest, but for some reason that's what I was thinking.
I have no idea. But speaking of Survivor Series, I think it's
War Games.
Amazing that they're doing War Games.
Two War Games matches he's already announced.
A men's and a women's. I think that's that has me excited.
They've already said it will not be SmackDown versus Raw,
which is huge.
As much as I just talked about, like Judgment Day, and I just seen some rumors or some people fantasy booking. I think what would have me most excited, because like I said, Roman's got a lot of stuff going on. What if it was Roman in the Bloodline versus basically everybody that's coming for the belt? So Killer Cross, Drew, Bray if he's there, or it would be like a misfits group.
They'd run roughshod on him.
People, but then just it would just be everybody coming for Roman, because then you could have a lot of dysfunction in the match between the other team. Bloodline's a solid unit. I mean, because you have Roman, Usos, Sami Zayn.
When's Survivor Series?
It's November.
Okay,
it's around Thanksgiving.
I'm trying to think.
Dwayne comes somewhere.
That's what I was thinking.
It has to. So how? I don't know. don't know how they do it.
Or do you wait till Rumble for Dwayne?
That's how they do it. I know. Roman, I think, is carrying.
Don't even say it.
Roman is carrying the belt to Mania. The Rock comes in. The Royal Rumble wins the Royal Rumble, and he's going to Mania.
Spot number 30.
He'd walk out. He'd leave.
That's your favorite gimmick.
He hates spot number 30, especially he hates Brock Lesnar and spot number 30.
He freaking walked out of the Royal Rumble.
I'll never forget it. We were at my house.
Or was that Money in the Bank?
No, it was clearly the Royal Rumble, and
because I said it happened at Money in the Bank.
What's funny is I can't remember the specifics, but Jonathan, were you there? Or just me and you? We were watching the Royal Rumble, and like we were just talking about Brock Lesnar like throughout the whole night, the whole match. And I'm like, at some point I said something about number 30 is going to be Brock.
Well, because Lesnar had a match that night.
That's what it was. He had a match early in the night, and he lost the belt, right? Yeah. And then as the Rumble comes, I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if Lesnar was number 30? And like all of a sudden, like Jonathan from the beginning was like, no, it's not going to be. No way, it's going to be Lesnar. Number 15, number 20, 25. It's going to be Lesnar. It's like you can just feel the dynamic shift. It's going to be.
Did you have the cutaway to who number 30 was supposed to be in their beatdown and stuff?
Huh? What?
Because a lot of times when
I think they just flat out just had
they
Brock
hit the
come
music,
out.
and he came out pissed.
Because y'all remember that year where R-Truth was trying to make it to the ring and he got taken out. So like all of a sudden it's like, well, he's not going to be number 16.
I love that.
So I am not a Brock fan. Partly because of the way he's built. I mean, it makes sense. I get it that you have to, but that's also what I don't like. It's just. It just felt like he just come in and did whatever. I mean, it wasn't really any structure. But
Brock's been away a minute, isn't he?
Yeah,
since Mania.
Wow. Okay.
But I will say that the Mania match. I mean, I've told Elliot this before. The Mania match, like I was a fan of Brock in that match, like that from the beginning.
Was that Mania? With the Trattor? No, that was
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. Yeah.
So he's been. Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute. Brock's been gone for 6 months. No. Okay. So since August, he's been gone. He's coming back Royal Rumble.
Survivor Series. The Beast versus the Bloodline.
I think he's done for a while.
He might be done, period.
That's the way I'm leaning. I mean, considering everything that happened.
He left and came back.
Vince, all that stuff with Vince, and then he left. And as much as they try to spin it, and
what
he left. He was gone.
Yeah. They said, hey.
Got him to come back.
What if he had the Brock and Rock connection for Survivor Series?
I hate this. I think if Brock comes back, it's a Royal Rumble moment.
Again.
So, Gallows and Gallows and Anderson are still up in the air.
I don't think there's any way they go back, bro.
Really?
I don't know. Like it was a Vince thing. Maybe things have changed. I don't know.
I mean, there's talk of Vince being the headline for the Hall of Fame.
That's gonna happen.
That's in stone. That's
gonna happen.
A done deal.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings on that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I'm
kind of early.
It's kind of, so that's why I have mixed feelings. So it's kind of weird because it's early, and I'm like maybe you just want to let things just
simmer
die down and stuff before, and then you have it in a couple of years. But what if there's more to come? Get it out now. Like, all right, we're gonna put him in the Hall of Fame, and then
what happens.
Wash our hands. We're done.
Well, yeah, Donald Trump's still in the Hall of
We don't have to
Fame.
bring Vince back.
Hogan is still in the Hall of Fame
Twice.
Yeah.
We don't have to bring Vince back anymore.
I would. That whole situation died down quick too. Like because there was still so much more to supposedly come
Quiet.
That shmoney.
Somebody's lawyers are talking.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
So now, here's why I asked that. So what if you
ask
about the Good Brothers?
Oh yeah.
What if they decided to sign again with WWE, right? And then we finally got that club with them, AJ, and Finn.
Yeah, because they botched it before.
Yeah.
That was definitely a Vince thing, though.
Yeah,
I botched it.
I don't think Triple H would botch it. Matter of fact, I think he would probably push it more like an ode to the click, so to speak.
And WWE doesn't really focus on the like AEW focuses on the groups and the cliques, right? No pun intended, but they have the bloodline now.
Yep.
It'd be nice to see, after seeing AEW's success with all these different large groups of people, these different, what do you call them, factions?
Factions, yeah.
WWE's probably like, oh man, we could make something work.
Well, I mean, they can.
They have.
I mean,
ability.
You've got some nice. I feel like they're trying to push that with the Judgment Day. I just don't know if they had the right pieces in place. I know they're trying to push Dominic Mysterio. I know they're trying to get him from under his dad's shadow. But man, it's just weird. It's just like, for me, the writing. It's just the whole writing thing is weird. Rhea saying she turned Dominic into a man. I'm like, oh, okay.
I saw some interesting memes
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
If you can imagine.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're part of some of the same Facebook groups. And, it's just, for me, it's one of those things that I don't know how I would rewrite it. I just feel like it should be rewritten, type of thing.
What if this whole 923 Who Killed the World White Rabbit? What if it is Finn?
With a demon?
The only reason I say no, the only reason I'm saying no to Finn and Karrion Kross.
Who Killed the World, Judgment Day.
The only reason I'm saying no to Karrion Kross and Finn
It's Edge, the demon Edge.
is because they're already active. They're active on the respective shows. That's why I think it's somebody different.
Well, Karrion Kross is Doomsday.
Yeah.
It's interesting for sure.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna be paying attention Friday. I'm intrigued. I just don't. Please, for the love of God, don't screw it up.
So transitioning from the possible letdowns this Friday, how'd you guys do in I'm not in a fantasy league, but how'd you guys do in your fantasy leagues this week?
I am undefeated, 2-0. Thank you, Josh Allen and Buffalo Bills defense, for manhandling the Tennessee Titans. Sorry, Jonathan.
That they did. Yeah, it was.
I was
similar to the Gamecock game on Saturday. It was over before it started.
Yeah. What a bad Saturday that was.
But no, fantasy. I won in like my main league. I lost in a few others. I'm in quite a few. So I'm bound to have some losses. Last week I lost in all of them, so that was not good. This week I won in the league that mattered, and I came. Jalen Hurts almost helped me win in just about every other league because I have him in 3 different leagues. But Minnesota Vikings, just couldn't get no offense going, which therefore, Philly kind of took the pedal off the gas, or took the foot off the gas, and it was looking good there for a minute, and then it just Hurts didn't get no more points for like half of the third quarter on to the end of the game, and I ended up losing the rest of them.
So to just wrap up the week, Thursday night. Did y'all watch the Thursday night football game? I personally, a lot of people complained about the I wasn't able to turn it on. Apparently there was some syncing issues with audio and video on Prime. I watched some. I love the setup. I thought it looked really nice. What I am going to try this week on the Thursday night football game between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers is apparently there's a feature.
Snooze fest.
Huh?
I said that's a snooze fest.
Boring.
Well, for me, So there's a feature they have that you can turn on. You know how you play Madden, you can see the players' names above their helmets and all that.
Yeah.
Or apparently there's a feature on the on Prime when you're watching it, so that you see the players' names.
I don't get that on Mamba streams.
Well, I have Prime, so
I have Prime too. I watched a little bit of the game on Thursday. I was at work, unfortunately, so I didn't get to really catch most of it. They had a TV playing on this little trailer, and I caught glimpses of the game, but not enough to really know what was going on.
I thought it looked really good. Kirk Herbstreit, phenomenal. Al Michaels, legend. Those two in the booth together, to me, made a great fit. So this week in football, or this past week, you had Chargers Chiefs. Chiefs win by 3 on Thursday night. Good game. Patriots Steelers. Patriots over the Steelers 17-14. Jets over the Browns 31-30. Giants over the Panthers 19-16. Jaguars over the Colts 24-0. And
the biggest,
that was a slaughter.
Shocking of a result. I mean, there was we can talk about a few of them. There was a lot of crazy outcomes this week in some of the games, but that was the one when I saw the final score. I was like, man, that one, I'm like genuinely surprised.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence was 25 of 30, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. Matt Ryan.
I take that back. Cowboys winning was the biggest shocker. But.
Oh, stop.
Matty Ice was 16 of 30, 195 yards, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns.
And let's not let that Trevor Lawrence one good game define him, because Lord knows he hasn't had many in the NFL yet. Well, but I'm hoping he does. It was a good start.
You can attribute a lot of that, though, to his horrible coaching last year under the Urban Meyer debacle.
Love that word.
You know, I think finally you got a tenured football coach who's won a Super Bowl with Doug Peterson.
True. I'll get back to the Urban Meyer thing. So is it not coincidence, or that
both was under Khan?
Yeah.
No
leadership.
No, I haven't paid attention to their soccer team, so I need to look into their football club and see how their soccer team is managed and how they do. But I would definitely say, I feel like you definitely have to ask yourself, is there a commonality there? Because Tony's is pretty hands-on with the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. So yeah, I would definitely say there's that commonality. Dolphins they're looking good. Tua is looking great.
That's scary.
It helps having a wide receiver like Tyreek Hill. But man, Tua was 36 of 50, 469 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Well, they're not going to be a pass-heavy team.
6 interceptions.
Six touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions. I was going to say,
Tyreek Hill, 190 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns.
I mean, that was one of the games I was talking about, was just wild to watch. I mean, you're watching the recap and the clips. I mean, just in the fourth quarter, there was 30-something points scored, I think, between the two. I mean, it was like shot after shot, haymaker.
Which game?
On top of the fact that, when the game started, Twitter was blowing up with, like, pay Lamar and, like, how well Lamar was playing. I mean, Baltimore was up 28-7 at one point. I mean, it looked like they were going to run away with it, and then Miami just came back.
Yeah. Bucks over the Saints. You had a pretty big brawl breakout in third, fourth quarter?
I think so.
And Mike Evans. So some lip readers caught what Mike Evans said to the. Did you read this? Yeah. Some lip readers caught what Mike Evans said to the referee, and Mike Evans was like, I mean, it's Tom Brady. What do you expect?
What do you expect me to do?
What do you expect me to do? It's Tom Brady. Because, you know, he...
That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback.
Sounds like T.O.
Yeah. I found that comedic for sure. But yeah, Bucks over the Saints 20-10. Lions over the Commanders 36-27. 49ers.
Lions offense looks good the last 2 weeks. I mean, they've put up some points. I mean, they almost came back and beat Philly last week, but I mean they did not look that good last year.
No,
I mean, they had Swift was hurt. I mean, he was hurt going into the game, and he had like I think maybe 10 carries or something. It had like 56 yards on a touchdown. I mean, they limited his work, and he still went off.
Yeah, I saw a couple of his carries and the highlights and stuff, and yeah, he looked good. 49ers versus Seahawks. You saw 49ers take it 27-7. Jimmy G comes back in. Trey Lance gets injured, leads the 49ers to a victory.
That was sad to see. Out for the year.
So I didn't see the injury. About her ankle, knee, something like
ankle. He's already had surgery, but they said right away, I think maybe by the time the game was over that it was going to be season-ending injury.
Oh, Trey Lance? Yeah, he's done.
But
sad.
But the question, I mean, I think the question comes though. Granted, I didn't watch any of the game, but I know their offense struggled the week before for the 49ers. Do you think 49ers management was trying to push Trey Lance a little too early? Especially when you see Jimmy G come in and, Seahawks beat the Broncos last week. Now, granted, Broncos may just not be that good. But to see Jimmy G come in and the 49ers end up getting the win, is it?
I don't think so. I mean, to me, I don't think the Seahawks are that good of a team. I think they got lucky last week to beat to beat Denver. But I mean, I give the 49ers credit for not trading Jimmy G. I mean, just kind of having him there. I mean, I don't think it was necessarily good for Lance to have him there, just in case he did continue to perform badly or something. You kind of always have that lurking. You hate to see him go out with an injury for the year, but from a management standpoint, is give props to the 49ers for keeping Jimmy G around and not trading him, because I mean now the situation they're in now, they're going to need him.
Yeah, I think Jimmy G wins and keeps the starting spot.
I don't think he should. I don't think he ever should have lost the starting spot personally.
It was premature.
But
I think it was prematurely done.
Well, but at the same time, they drafted this kid in the first round and stuff. It's kind of one of those things that, we drafted the kid first round. We was expected for us to do this, and sometimes you just got to go with the better player, though.
Tom Brady.
Well, no,
Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe. Bledsoe went down with the injury.
Yep.
Brady never looked back. So we'll see.
Rams.
He did learn from Brady.
He did. You got LA Rams not looking like the Super Bowl champ from last year, but still pick up the win, 31-27 over the Falcons.
They better change something in LA.
Defense is struggling, man. Defense is struggling. Cardinals scored 20 straight.
That was another wild game.
To beat the Raiders in overtime off of a fumble return for a touchdown.
I mean, if you watch the ending to the game, I mean, so Arizona was down by 8.
Kyler Murray went off.
There was one play where Murray ran. I mean, they were on within the red zone. I mean, I think they were maybe within the 10-yard line, and they tracked how much yardage Murray covered scrambling, trying to get away from everybody, and it was 80 yards that he ran back and forth on one play, and then they completed he got a 3-yard rush to get the touchdown, and then he completed a pass for the 2-point conversion to AJ Green that I don't even know how he got it in there.
Well, and remember, Kyler Murray's been criticized because he apparently doesn't watch film. Instead, he plays Modern Warfare. From what they've said,
seems similar.
Yeah. Cardinals get the win, 29-23. Broncos pick up their first win against the Texans. We alluded a while ago, Broncos don't look to be that good, really. Cowboys beat other team in the Super Bowl last year, the Bengals, 20-17. Bengals, again, their offensive line is atrocious. It's absolutely horrible.
Another quarterback situation in Dallas, with Cooper Rush. Kudos to him for stepping up and playing big, leading the team victory.
So here's something that I heard a lot of with Tony Romo calling that game, and he's really big on Cooper Rush. Talked about how Cooper Rush is not like your average quarterback. He's a guy who's calm. He doesn't show much excitement in the pocket. Very focused. He's always alluded how he's always been like that, even throughout his college career. So Romo's high on him. So I think that might be something Cowboy fans might have to look forward to.
And love or hate Tony Romo. I think he's statistically one of the best regular season quarterbacks, at least in that I've seen. So I mean, his accolades speak volumes.
Well, outside of his quarterback, he's a heck of an analyst.
Oh yeah, he'll call that play before you.
He sure will. Packers pick up their first win against the Bears. The Bears. 27-10, and this one's gonna hurt Jonathan. 41-7 Bills over Titans. Bills have what they didn't have even though they had the number one ranked defense last year, only allowing 17 points a game. The Bills have something this year they did not have last year, and that's a front four rush. They've added Von Miller. Von Miller he's having fun. I've heard him on Pat McAfee a couple times, and they asked him, "Hey, why didn't you re-sign with L.A.? Why'd you go to Buffalo?" He's like, "Hey, I want to be the first player to have I forget how many rings he said with. I think he said
it's three
rings with three different teams."
There was another guy there's one guy that has three with three teams, but he didn't play in the Super Bowl for the third team. He was on the team, but I think he was injured. So he wants to be part of that culture.
Tell you
and
what,
believes in himself.
One of the biggest stories out of that game, man, is the Dane Jackson injury.
Yeah,
on Buffalo's side, and now it's reported that he avoided any major injury to neck or spinal cord.
that's amazing.
Like, bro, I was watching it live, and I was like, something didn't look right. Like the angle the game was showing, like something didn't look right there. Then I caught another angle on Twitter, and I was like, in the way how quick they brought that ambulance out to the field and like were circling, like blocking from seeing. I was like, there was a legitimate thought in my mind that he was dead. Like,
oh, sure.
Like the way it looked like he could have been decapitated, man.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
And anytime you have a head injury like that, I mean, it
was uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, especially from that other angle. I'm like, dude, it looked like his head came off. I was like, please be like his helmet or something just came loose, But he's gonna be okay.
Well, it makes you wonder if after seeing that, if something like being forced to wear a cowboy collar is something that they implement. Because a cowboy collar prevents your head from only allow your head to go so far. But then the question becomes, all right, well, if the head stops,
right, it's kind of
is there going to be more damage than
Is that like that Brian Urlacher thing that he used to wear?
yes.
Or the Bill Romanowski thing?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Last game of the week we had Eagles beat the Vikings. Jalen Hurts is looking really good this year.
So, real quick, you're talking about the Titans disappointing me. I am disappointed in the score and watching the game. Like there was really no excitement for me, but my wife was in the room watching it with me, and she was like, you're definitely a lot calmer than I expected you to be." Because I was like, usually if they're losing, I'm not in a good mood.
My fantasy team is,
and I was like, maybe it was because it was Buffalo and they're Super Bowl favorites, and I maybe expected them to win. It just didn't feel as much of an impact. But what does hurt me is seeing AJ Brown in a different uniform go off.
Oh yeah, with the Eagles,
because he was one of my. Now Eagles are probably the second team I would pull for over anybody. So I'm glad I'm thankful that he's there, and it's another team that I enjoy watching. But it still hurts because he was outside of Henry, he was definitely my favorite player on the Titans.
I didn't realize how good of a player he was until I was watching some of the game last week or this week. And, man, he was just having his way. I'm like,
I mean, he did that in Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee wanted to keep him. They just, contract-wise,
he couldn't come to a number.
They couldn't agree on anything. But, I mean, he went off in Tennessee. I'm happy for him because Tennessee didn't utilize him the way he's being utilized in Philly. Like, Tennessee was definitely – I mean, Philly's a run-first offense, but, like, everything's kind of going through him. And Tennessee just, even as much – they just didn't want to pass the ball at all.
But I feel like in the AFC, which is where Tennessee is, I feel like those defensive backs are just – I feel like they're harder to go against. And that's just – I think for me, my thought is AFC has those really stout defensive backs, and then your NFC tends to have the good front four, front seven, however you want to look at it. Any games looking towards this week?
I mean, Titans play the Raiders. I'm always looking forward to the Titans game, no matter how I think the outcome's going to be.
Have they won a game yet?
They have not.
Bills, Dolphins.
That'll be a fun game. Sunday at 1 o'clock. Well, you got Steelers, Browns Thursday night. You got Bills, Dolphins Sunday.
Packers, Bucks, just because it's
Brady versus Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean that's always makes for good TV.
And I do love NFC East week. So you got Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders and Eagles.
And the Giants look better than a lot better than what I thought they were going to.
I'm not confident on the Cowboys win there, but
Daniel Jones is looking decent. It looks like their new coach has put in some schemes to where Daniel Jones is pretty mobile, and they're using that. Saquon Barkley is healthy. So yeah, it's interesting to see where they might go with that. But you got Bengals, Jets, Raiders, Titans, Saints, Panthers, Ravens, Patriots, Lions, Vikings, Eagles, Commanders, Chiefs, Colts, Texans, Bears. All those are 1 o'clock games. You got Jaguars, Chargers at 4:05, Rams, Cardinals 4:25, Packers, Bucks 4:25, Falcons, Seahawks 4:25, and then your Sunday night game is the 49ers versus Broncos. And sounds like a snooze fest to me. And then Monday Night Football, you have Cowboys versus Giants to round out week 3.
In the Meadowlands, too. So I'm definitely not sold. That's the thing. The NFC East is like the one division, like anybody could be anybody any day of the week. So.
Now, when you say Meadowlands, is that just the name of the area? Because I know they got a newer stadium several years back.
It's that area. But, it's going to be interesting. I'm just glad football's here.
Yeah, it's football season.
All fronts.
You had a shellacking this past week.
We won't talk about that.
With U of SC and Georgia.
I'm so glad NFL's back.
Hey, but, I mean, Carolina did score the only touchdown that Georgia has allowed all season so far.
They did. They
did something Oregon couldn't do.
They got the only touchdown so far against Georgia this year. And you know what, though? I sat there and watched the game, parts of the game, and I thought back to our conversation with Savell. I'm just like, man, but then at the same time, it's the number one team in the country. They're playing like the number one team in the country.
South Carolina's got a rough few weeks coming up. After the Charlotte game, SC State, Kentucky, A&M, Missouri. A little nervous.
Looking at the schedule, I don't know that Carolina gets four wins.
I am not confident on that 8-win season anymore. Like
4 and 8 is a big difference.
Well, just judging by what we've seen so far is not what we anticipated seeing. So I mean, I don't like throwing in the towel 2 weeks into a year. But we got to call a spade a spade. It doesn't look good.
It's I'm just trying to think of the rest of their football schedule. And
I mean, now we have to think about they've lost 2 games, but it's to like you said, the number 1 ranked team in the country, and then Arkansas is ranked 10th this week. So I mean, it's 2 top 10 teams.
So you got number 8 Kentucky coming up, number 23 Texas A&M coming up, number 20 Florida coming up, number 11 Tennessee coming up, number 5 Clemson coming up. So right now, if you didn't beat a ranked team, you
6 losses.
You would beat Charlotte, beat SC State, beat Missouri, beat Vanderbilt.
And we got 1 win already. So
5.
That
might be
far
it.
cry from 8. Like we were thinking, 7 or 8 was the strong prediction for a Carolina year. And
I mean, the truth be known, Missouri, that's always up in the air.
Not to make this a knock on Clemson by any means, but because this is an excuse Gamecocks use all the time. But I mean, you look at Carolina's schedule and then you compare it to Clemson's. I mean, they have Wake Forest this week,
and I'll say one thing: we play you every year.
Us, yeah.
And the same thing happens.
Well, I'm not just talking about against us. I'm just saying, like,
hey, we don't make the
strength of schedule at the end of the year.
We don't make the schedule. And if you want to talk, I mean, honestly, when it comes to the SEC, rankings are just numbers that people have decided, hey, this shows that this team's better than this team, right? And, we're part of the conference we're part of. And 9 times out of 10, we win the conference. So, I mean, it is what it is. Our track record against top SEC opponents is pretty good. So, the schedule is the schedule. You can just make from it what you can make from it.
So first of all, I think Clemson's going to have a harder. I mean, I think this week will be a good test for them against Wake Forest. I would be. I mean, this isn't going to happen this year, but I would be more curious to see how Clemson does when they expand the playoffs in a year or two. I mean, with college football in general, I think anything can happen in any given week. So like having an easier schedule, easier path to get to the playoffs and then get there. I mean, yes, it's hard to win 2 games against top opponents, but I think that's, would you even get there if you played harder opponents during the season? Where, I mean, because I don't like when I look at the ACC, I don't think anything can happen in any given week. Like, I'm like, okay, well, you have your contenders and you don't. Now, SEC, Alabama, Georgia, but I think anybody can almost pretty much win against the other opponent in the SEC, like in any given week.
I think it's easier to take history into account. And what I mean by that is people see Kentucky and they say, oh, okay, Kentucky, Florida. Oh, Kentucky might just pull it out. Well, Kentucky is the number 8 team in the nation right now. So it's not just, hey, they might be able to pull it out. This is a team that's been busting their tail under Coach Stoops for the past, 5-6 years now. They haven't just surprisingly gotten better. They've built year after year after year. They've been better. It's one of those things you have Florida, who number 20. Will they stay there? I think they get knocked out of top 25 here soon.
I mean, they play Tennessee this week, so if I'm not mistaken, and Tennessee's 11th. So if they lose, they're definitely out of the top 25.
Yeah, historically, though, they have a good record against Tennessee. So where is it at?
In Tennessee.
I think Tennessee takes it. Who's looking good under Josh Heupel? But I mean, it's, as far as right now you have Wake, Clemson, NC State. Florida State's looking good. They haven't cracked the top 25 yet. Notre Dame was ranked top 5 in the beginning of the year, but obviously they're not top 5.
Yeah, they don't look good.
Miami was top 25. So that's 4 teams in top 25 right now. All that just to say, standings. Well, I didn't look and see. I didn't even look and see it. I didn't even look at the rest of the ACC, the Coastal Division, but we've known for the longest time that SEC is the power conference. We know that. You have Big Ten. But at the end of the year, you just have to see where everything stands, and you also have Pitt for the ACC that's in the top 25 right now too. Virginia Tech looks like they're undefeated, but they're not top 25 yet. But we can, if and buts for candy and nuts, we'd never go hungry. So, you haven't heard that? You've never heard that saying?
I've never heard that.
Oh, yeah. If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we would never go hungry. So it's a way of saying, hey, we can't dwell on possibilities. You just have to deal with what we got.
That would have been a good way to put it.
Sound like a dolphin.
Huh? Wow. A dolphin. It does sound like a dolphin.
It's pretty interesting.
Ace Ventura. Man, so yeah, guys, it's been a good one.
Started hot, bro. Finished hot. Love it.
Man,
I'm also
go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm also excited. I know, Shane, you're not really much of a TV watcher.
Stranger Things.
Besides that,
It's the only episodic show I watch.
but not only is football back, but starting this week, a lot of the fall
Masked Singer.
season is like when most of the hit TV shows come out, and this week is kind of the official first week of fall TV releases. So a lot of the shows that I follow are getting ready to start coming back on.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Nobody cares. Hocus Bogus.
What?
Thackeray Binks.
Thackeray.
Hocus Pocus. Starring Mike Tyson.
You can judge it all you want. I think it's a beautiful film.
Yeah, whatever. Nobody cares.
I have seen there are several movies in theaters I'm wanting to see. Have you seen Barbarian?
The wrestler?
What? My first show I wrestled on, I wrestled semi-main event to Barbarian. No joke. It's another story.
Who booked that?
Rex Rumble.
So ding, 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 ding. If you had one shot.
Jonathan, I dare say, and Elliot is my witness, I dare say if you ever witnessed an early PCW show, you never would have come back.
It was rough in the beginning.
I didn't even think of it. I mean, it wasn't as bad as I've seen some other shows, but thinking back to some things, there was some things I'd probably
Stranger Things.
Like when you use a plastic tablecloth and cut it down the center and duct tape it to a doorway so that can be your curtain to walk through.
That was our entrance curtain, or having a tables match and then having the tables made out of plywood and spray painted with the person's name on the table that's going through the table. One said Riot, one said Bates, and one said Wolf.
James.
Was this in an arena? Or was this
it was in a warehouse.
No, that was Spring Valley High School.
The more you explain it, the more I'm picturing those YouTube videos that we watched with
very similar.
Okay.
Very, very similar. Elliot, I sent you that video a long time ago. You probably just watched 30 seconds of it and been like, I'm shutting it off. But it's awesome. Make him bleed.
Oh,
Make him bleed. If it ain't spraying, I'm not paying. You know?
I don't forget what he's talking about.
Oh, I love.
Oh no. So have you seen? Did y'all watch the movie Prey?
No, art is
PREY?
phenomenal.
I loved it.
It's like is it a precursor?
It's a prequel for Predator. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I have not watched it yet.
Still haven't
Nothing but good things.
Still haven't seen Bullet Train with. Isn't it Bullet Train? I think. I still haven't seen that. Barbarian. I'm trying to remember who's in that.
They stay in it. Skarsgård. Skarsgård's in it.
Oh, okay.
They
Is it Conan?
what? Conan the
Is it
Barbarian?
based on Conan?
No. Hang on. No.
No. So the two things that I've been watching lately is
It's Justin Long, Bill Skarsgård. In town for a job interview, a young woman arrives at an Airbnb late at night to find out that a rental has been mistakenly double booked. A strange man is already staying there. Against her better judgment, she decides to stay the night anyway, but discovers that there's much more to be afraid of in the house than any other house guest. Internet Movie Database is raving about it. It's almost 8 out of 10, and it's definitely something I want to see.
I have a particular set of skills.
I definitely want to see it. I'm trying. Clerks 3 is getting rave reviews.
I've never seen the first two.
Chainsaw Bob?
Never seen.
Oh, amazing.
I've seen the first one. I don't think I've seen the second one.
Those are the two in theaters that I really want to see right now. I definitely got to make it a point to see Barbarian because it looks good.
Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
That I would see just for nostalgia purposes. I'd like to see what they do with it, especially
Beast. That's one I was wanting to see.
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Looks phenomenal. I think he's one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a whole lot of movies out that I want to see right now. I just started, so I'm kind of late. Kind of how I guess Shane is with Stranger Things. I'm late to the Yellowstone. I've heard a lot of good things. But
oh yeah, so my in-laws watched that and they talk about how good it is. I haven't watched it though.
So I started it, and then I had been waiting on my son to watch Obi-Wan. And then he let me know like 2 days ago that he was like, yeah, just go ahead and watch it. If it's good, just let me know. So I started watching it. It's only 6 episodes, but I watched 3 the other night. And it was pretty good from what I saw, if you're a Star Wars fan.
I heard Boba Fett was a big letdown. I didn't watch it though.
What is it?
Boba Fett.
What's Boba Fett?
The show, Boba?
Yeah.
Okay.
On Disney Plus.
Oh.
Yeah, I think going from The Mandalorian is really, really good.
Yeah.
And then Obi-Wan's been pretty good. It was definitely the weakest out of the Star Wars ones so far.
Did it seem like it was just a filler, just to be a filler, or?
Yeah,
they'll do that. They'll do that sometimes. They'll have a filler series just to be a filler series to kind of connect them, but it's really underwhelming.
Yeah, because he showed up in Mandalorian first, and I think they were kind of building off of that. Just wanted to tell a story. I don't know if they renewed it for a second season or not, but it was okay.
Cool.
But I think that's all I got.
Well, guys, that's all we got for the evening. Got a big day ahead, big rest of the week. Got a PCW coming up in couple weeks?
Week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. October 1st.
I heard some surprises.
Cool, man.
I don't know the specifics. I just show up.
I might not be able to make this one. Chance I'll be at Clemson, NC State, so.
Oh. I wasn't going to be able to be there. I think I'm going to be there, though.
That'd be good.
Thank God.
Oh. What word?
I will not be there.
Oh, no.
I'll be in Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, I might be there. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know my own schedule.
Well, that's why you got handbook over here.
This is true. Didn't even know I was going to be in Irmo for your birthday.
No, you're going to be in the orchestra.
Well, I know
I'll
if
be
he's
at
going to
Redbone.
be there or not, but he doesn't know.
I'll be at Redbone.
It was my idea. I'm the one who suggested Redbone in Florence because I was going to be in Florence. So now I'm suggesting Aladia's in Irmo or in Lexington because I'll be over there. No, I don't. I'm there till 11. Can we do a different day? Can we change your birthday?
I was going to say, let's just remember that, or put it out there that we definitely talked about this multiple times within the last 7 days.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Well, Shane, I appreciate you trying to plan my birthday dinner.
I literally suggested the restaurant, the place, and the time and where.
It'll be great. Yeah.
I said, oh, yeah, I get off work at 7. I'm already there in the parking lot. Nope. Sure. Shane, you're in Irmo working till 11.
But I'll be in Florence.
My wife is going to be pissed.
They have really good shrimp and grits, too. Not even going to lie.
Yeah, that's what I like to get
so
there.
good.
That's my favorite dish.
I haven't eaten at Redbone Alley in a good while. Rub it in.
I hope you get food poisoning.
Oh, I hope I don't.
Both of you. Both of you. Okay. Send them on home, Elliot.
Guys, we appreciate your time. As always, my name is Elliot.
And I'm Shane.
And I'm Jonathan.
And this has been the Lowdown Popcast. And as always, guys, let's keep it popping.